it would be powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. Gary and Matt are remotely working on the internet, and we figured, let's just, because there's nothing that makes me more angry than working with the slightest inconvenience of like a delay and somebody goes out and somebody's talking over. I don't know. That one really angers me.
So this is a you thing.
It almost angers. I think it is. Yeah. It almost angers me as much as when coaches wear backwards hats during football games.
Now that really triggers you from what I've seen.
It struck a chord with me. Hello, everybody. This is the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Oddson with you. We're here and it's live here. How do I prove it to you? I'll tell you how I prove it to you, because if you're watching along with us on stream right now, you can see our Yacht Rock 1180 hats. Yacht Rock 1180 is not a station that existed before we went on break. That's how you know that this is live.
Couldn't have faked this.
Could not have faked this. It is live. It is January 2nd. There have been playoff games. This is our how many year anniversary?
This is the beginning of year 5, right?
The beginning of, so that makes it 4, right?
I believe we had this exact same conversation last year.
Well, it always feels like it's underselling it. It feels like it's been longer than 4 years.
Yes, feels like a lifetime.
Yeah. Feels like a lifetime. Charles writes in on YouTube, we have a Yacht Rock station in Omaha. Now we do.
Yep.
We sure do.
Anchored by
Captain Crash, and they have the coolest hats out of any radio station in Omaha, if I'm to say so myself.
Later on today, Josh Peterson's going to walk in with his Zone hat, and it's going to be the second best NRG media hat in existence.
I was wearing my 1620 The Zone hat today, and then I was delivered this hat, and I threw away my 1620 The Zone hat, threw it in the trash can. Get out of here.
Gave it to an unhoused gentleman outside.
Yacht Rock 1180. And here we are here on 1620 The Zone. I have takes. We got takes that have just been boiling and building up over the last 2 weeks since we left you last Tuesday before Christmas. A lot has happened. There's been football games of the professional and the collegiate variety. There have been, today is the first day of the transfer portal. There have been basketball games, yes, of the professional and collegiate variety, but we are not going to talk about any professional games that have happened over the last 2 weeks.
You don't want to talk about Jokic being out for a month?
Although there was a moment where we all thought that the NBA players were going to come back and take over college basketball like it was some sort of uprising or something like that. That was a crazy couple days.
That was.
We could talk about that.
They just kept signing draft picks to college basketball.
Black Cat writes in, Jason Green. When we leave for a couple days, Jason Green happens. Also, Nebraska, within the last 2 hours, may have gotten its starting quarterback for the 2026 season.
Hello.
Or at least they got a quarterback for the 2026 season. They got one of the quarterbacks that they're going to be taking out of the transfer portal. It appears, according to some reporting out there. I woke up this morning. I knew that the transfer portal was open. I saw last night, our dear friend Max Olson do some tweets, and it was like, hey, it's 12:05 a.m. and 1 million people have entered the transfer portal already. And I said, oh, man, yeah, that makes a lot of sense considering what we've heard over the last month. And then I woke up, and it was before 7 o'clock this morning, and it said, well, it looks like Nebraska knows who they're going to take out of the transfer portal because Kenny Minchie went in, and he had a do not contact tag attached to him. And I said, how boring is this crap? This is garbage. Nebraska already got their quarterback. We've only been playing Portal Combat for 5 minutes. This is disgusting. Boring. I wanted to get to the point where we're 3 weeks down the line and I'm spinning the wheel of quarterbacks and some random dudes pop up on there from like New Hampshire or something like that. But no, they just had to take the first guy they thought of on the first day. Garbage. The illegal tampering period is canceled.
We could have brought the wheel back.
I know.
We could have
boring.
Could have done a wish list. Could have
BORING.
Matt Rhule saying yes to the first person that walks by him denying you great content in the process.
It is unbelievable. Unbelievable. So we have a live radio show today, and we'll be here for the next 4 hours. Bryan Munson will join us at the top of the hour because it is Friday. All right? Listen closely. It's Friday. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
So tomorrow's Saturday, meaning we don't have to be here again tomorrow or the next day. Correct.
Okay.
That is accurate. We will all be back on Monday, and we'll all be one big happy family again. But right now it's Friday, and this is a very random show. So Bryan Munson will join us at 11. Brian Christopherson will join us at 11:30. The biggest Nebraska ball game ever is tonight. Biggest period Nebraska ball period game period ever.
Very quickly, during our best ofs, I played the time where we made that parody song about Nebraska missing the Big Ten tournament.
People forget about that.
And it dawned on me, they have not lost a game since we made that song.
Not even one single game. Not even one single game. They were at their lowest of the lows and then immediately won 17 games in a row. So you tell me what the differentiating factor is. So Munson and BC will join us. I texted Sipple, and he said, Connor, me and Sean are going to do a show today. And he didn't tell me what time that was going to happen. So I just figured.
You took it as a no.
Yeah, I just figured, okay, well, it's going to be hard to track you down today. I get the point. We'll skip it. So no Sipple. BC and Munson are our lineup. Powered by the rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. We want to hear from you all today, 402-951-1620. On the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline, you can call or text that number, tweet at Happer Show, at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed, email Connor Josh Show at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. And we say good morning to the YouTube streamers today, where Silver Cloak 7216 writes in.
Hi, Silver Cloak 7216.
Minchie affirmed or speculation? I think the word you were looking for is confirmed, not confirmed, and also not speculation. Somewhere in the middle of those two, I would call it.
Oh,
I mean, reported by many, and it goes into the portal with a do not contact tag. So
he's going somewhere.
I would call that. I wouldn't call that confirmed. I would just call that, I don't know, assumed. Almost.
All right.
Assumed. All right. But we want to hear from you all today. So let's take phone calls. I love phone calls on the radio. 402-951-1620. Let's go to Nate on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Hey, Nate.
Hey, good morning. Okay, I'm all over the place because I'm still licking my wounds from the Utah beating that we just took. So I'm going to try. I'm going to try to reel it all in. First, I want to say, stay of the football program. I think we're dying the slow death with Matt Rhule. You know, someone brought up a good point. There was a point in the game in Utah. It was like 4th and 4. Utah had it at their own 40. They lined up in punt formation. Then all of a sudden they hurried up to the line of scrimmage. They tried to draw up offsides. They didn't get us to jump. You know, blah, blah, blah. I got to thinking, out of the last 3 years of the Matt Rhule era, I have never seen our coaching staff try anything like that, ever. Just at its purest football savvy, we have a first-time head coach at Utah doing this stuff to our coaching staff. Just little things like that. You know, 3rd and 20. We got Utah, you know, at a 3rd and 20. And what do? We call a timeout so they can go to the sideline and draw up a play so they can laser it right in our face. I just think it's those little things that Matt Rhule doesn't get. I think it's kind of a gimmick, just me personally. So I'm really frustrated with all that. The portal, let's get on that.
Okay.
I think the portal it shows more of a program's weaknesses than it does strengths. Even if we're lucky to buy our way out of this mess for 1 year, then what? This program's built on gimmick and no consistency. Now, what do I think about Minchie? I agree with you fellas. I think that's a complete joke. It just sounds bad.
Wait, hey, for the record, I did not say that was a complete joke. For the record, I did not say that.
Well, okay, how about this? Well, let me say it then. Predicting the future, it just sounds bad. Minchie drops back the pass. That sounds like it's already a sack. Fumble right there. Okay. Now, I mean, honestly, come on. Now, who would I want? If there's any player I'd want, it'd probably be Aiden Childs. I know what everyone says about him being a cancer in the locker room or the rumors floating out there, but here's the deal. If this were Nick Saban, and I'm not comparing us to Nick Saban, Alabama, but trust me, but if he were there, who would Nick Saban probably take? I think he's going to take somebody with Big Ten experience, more upside, and a gamble. Minchie, I don't think provides anything at all to what we're doing offensively, which honestly, I don't know what that is because we don't have an identity. But I guess Aiden Childs, I believe, kind of goes hand in hand with things that TJ Lateef honestly can do from an athletic standpoint. So in practice, don't you want to try to get a player like Aiden Childs paired up with Lateef that's doing similar things so the offense runs at a smoother pace? To me, Minchie and Lateef are far from one another, athletically and just from a skill set. What do you guys think?
Okay.
Taking my call.
Thank you, Nate. Appreciate it. Covered a lot of ground there. You had to wrangle it all in. I don't think I don't think I'm as out on Minchie as Nate seems to be. What do you think about?
Very out.
What do you think? What do you think about Minchie? I have no. I cannot have declarative opinions on Minchie at this moment, considering he threw 26 passes this year in backup duty for Notre Dame. But he was a former, Elite 11, highly recruited quarterback, and appears to have some mobility and escapability to his game and things like that, and has 2 years of eligibility.
I'll admit to not being a ball knower. I just found out this human existed today.
Also, I think comparatively, it doesn't seem like him and Lateef are that far apart in terms of their like Lateef was a true freshman this year. That was the difference. He was a redshirt sophomore at Notre Dame. So I don't know why. I don't know. I wouldn't go head over heels for Aiden Childs simply because this is the reaction to the Minchie guy. This seems fine. Also, you got to see how it all plays out. I mean, it's possible that Nebraska goes out and they find somebody who's more qualified than him. But I wouldn't be surprised if he was your starting quarterback next year. What I was saying about Minchie is I was disappointed from a content standpoint that they wrapped it all up 10 seconds into the portal. I was thinking that we could get a show out of this.
Yeah.
Instead, we just got to have people calling in and saying, "What? He doesn't have any Big Ten. He doesn't have any experience playing any football games in college. This is dumb." I wanted people to wait to be angry. I wanted people to be angry about the backwards hat, and maybe we'll get that. And maybe we'll have that right now. So let's take a phone call here from Anthony on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Hi, Anthony. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Connor. Thanks for taking the call. Hey, one of the more notable sports writers in the Nebraska ecosystem indicated that a backwards hat is not a strategy. Do you feel like Rhule's backwards hat was part of the plan, or did he lose a bet? Have to get your take on this backwards hat deal.
Thank you, Anthony.
There's been a lot of talk about it, so appreciate you guys. Thanks.
I am happy to add to the conversation.
Are you now?
I am.
Okay.
I hated it. It's not just because he was. I want to take another call first because I have a full blown segment on this that is in the can today.
Okay.
The backwards hat thing triggered me. I'm usually a pretty pragmatic, Josh, you could attest this, right? This is not the kind of I don't care. Whatever. Wear your hat backwards. But I just feel like it's a little gimmicky. That's all.
We're not a yelly show, but you seem borderline yelly about this hat.
Maybe. We'll see. I do have a take on this. Let's take another call from Andrew on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Hi, Andrew.
How you doing, guys?
Good.
I will say I've got like 3 takes. The backward hat was really bad, but nobody's talking about it was a camo hat. Just a bad luck.
What do you mean? What makes it worse? Just because it's a bad looking hat?
Because my theory is if you're wearing a camo hat, you feel like you're going to war in a game or something like that. And if you're going to war, you got to wear your hat backwards. Not really. So I just thought it was gimmicky there.
Okay.
I think everybody's all worried about the quarterback. I mean, I don't think our quarterbacks really show their true colors because they were playing from behind the whole time. We couldn't stop anything. And being the Jasker I am, is Owen Freeman a bust for Creighton basketball?
Wow. You guys really missed us. Thanks for the call, Andrew. I love this. This is what I want every show.
Segment 1.
I want 4 people to call in just right away and just fire some stuff at us. This is the ideal start to a radio show.
Our station internet cannot keep up with the hot takes.
Oh, really? Are we dying out there?
I think we're back.
Okay. All right. That's good. Because we got Black Cat tweeted in or YouTube commented in before. He's like, I bet you guys missed this. I actually did. This is nice. I want to get inside of this. I want to see what the people feel. Should we quickly answer the Owen Freeman question? No.
Yeah, we could probably get that out.
No, I don't believe so. I just think it's taken some time. They're going to need him and they're going to need him to be a more physical presence in the middle for Creighton going forward. It's getting to be about that time where you could really, start to expect some things from him. I think he has a role on this team. It's just probably not the role that you thought it was going to be at the start of the year. I mean, hell, he was first team all league preseason at the start of the year. He's obviously not going to be that. Okay. So do we have any problem with the fact that the backwards hat was not only a backwards hat, but it was camo, that it was a camouflage hat?
Boy. Really got me up against a corner there when you asked that question.
I thought he was going to go down the road of hey, I thought you were wearing a camo hat. I thought you respected the troops, put it on frontwards. I thought he was going to go that way.
Yeah, that's where I thought we were headed.
We didn't quite get there.
No.
We didn't quite get there.
I'm okay with the camo hat.
I just thought
I'm not okay with the backwards hat. Not to go all Colin Cowherd on everyone here.
I am okay with the backwards hat. But I am not okay with it being a thing. And to be fair, the media asks about it. But then he talks about it. And he's like, here's why I wear a backwards hat, because I'm trying to be this guy and I'm trying to do this thing and I'm trying to send this message to my defensive line. It's great for the players to see me in this light and things like that. Why do we have 40 different versions of Matt Rhule? Why are there 100 different versions of him? Why is he wearing a chain? Why is he wearing grills in that one meme that I keep seeing on the internet? Why does he have a podcast?
I went on a zip line to show those guys that you got to face your fears.
Yes.
You just got to buckle up and you got to do it, man.
What? I don't know who he is. That's the problem. He keeps doing all these different things, and it feels like everything is just to send this message to his team over and over and over again. Here's the message I want to get across today. We hear it in hype speeches and
speeches?
Well, when he talks to the team in the stuff that comes out afterwards, sure. There's always this message. And then I felt late in the game on whatever day that was, Wednesday, they're taking timeouts late in the game, and and people were like, well, it's better than just quitting. I was like, no, it's not quitting. You're down by 22 points with 20 seconds left. Stop it. You're down by 20. Are you going to score 22 points in 20 seconds? No.
Halfback dive.
For Christ's sake.
Let's get back on the plane.
You're not going to score that many points. And people are like, well, God forgive him for just wanting to get the freshmen and some young guys some playing time.
This ain't the YMCA.
What does it do? I don't they're out there standing there. You're going to take timeouts so they can get out there and run one play in a football game where the other team is half present. They're half celebrating. They're half on the Vegas Strip already celebrating their bowl victory after what's been a tumultuous couple weeks for that program. It doesn't make. So I just felt like that was a message. We don't quit in these games. We don't quit in these games because I just had to show my team. And he didn't say this, but I just thought it. we can't quit in these games because that's not the message that I want to send. We have to play a hard 60 every single time. Like, why does everything have to come out in a bit, in a gimmick? And I love bits.
We do.
I love bits. I am Mr. Bit.
Great nickname. Gonna use that. Hey, we can't do jack bleep after 10 minutes into the game, but those last 50, we're not gonna quit.
We're not gonna quit.
We're not gonna quit.
You're not quitting. You're down by 22 points.
You can steamroll us for 50 minutes.
It's real. It's real. Yeah, you're down 44 to 16 in the game with a minute left.
Who has more of an identity, Matt Rhule or Matt Rhule's football team?
I think they are similar in their identity crises.
Interesting.
And so to take this all the way back to a couple weeks ago when he got all pissed off about the whole reset question. This is what we're talking about. This is why it needs a reset, because nobody knows what you are. Nobody knows what they're doing. I don't know what they're trying to be. They talk about what they're trying to be all the time, and then I watch the football games, and none of it makes any sense. I can't understand why a historically great offensive coordinator all of a sudden stinks at his job. I can't understand why a defense that played pretty dang well for the first, 8 games, 9 games, 10 games of the season, all of a sudden didn't do anything in the final 3. I can't understand why he said after the game that he forced John Butler, he said, that's a little bit on me because I kind of forced John Butler into running a defense that wasn't really his. I can't understand why that happened.
A wild thing to say publicly.
An absurd thing to say. An absurd thing to say. And then I can't understand why he's on the zip line, and I can't understand why he's wearing a backwards hat and he's doing all these things. And somebody tweeted at me today, they're like, why does he owe you an explanation? I'm like, he doesn't. I just want to know what they're doing.
I just know if I asked, he would give a 7.5-minute explanation.
What are you trying to be? And so that's why people say reset. You know what happens when you're in the third quarter of an online game on College Football 26 and you've thrown a couple interceptions, or maybe you're in the first game of the season, you've thrown a couple interceptions and you just hit reset. It got off the tracks. This thing got off the tracks at some point.
Really did. In
the last 2 years. And that's why people are saying they need a reset. And I can't believe that he got mad at that.
Got an email from David.
Hi, David.
Nothing says where Nebraska football is at more than being relegated to Fremont Street in Vegas instead of the actual strip.
Okay, that's actually not true. Fremont Street rocks. So, I mean, go down there.
It's the new spot.
You'll see it yourself. Let's take a phone call on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Here's Luke. Hi, Luke. How are you? Luke quit on us. Sorry, I had to do 7 minutes of a take there with Luke hanging on the line. Should we get to some texts?
Yeah, I bet there's plenty of them.
Yeah, there are. Pedro writes in.
Hi, Pedro.
Hi, guys. Connor, I had to adjust my television set so I could get a better picture of Josh's shirt. That shirt is friggin' great. 2026 is going to be a great year. The hats are okay.
Hats are okay.
I think the hats are pretty good.
Yeah. Should we send Matt Rhule a Yacht Rock 1180 hat?
Maybe he could wear it.
Yeah. Now it's a snapback. I don't know if you'd wear a snapback backwards.
Maybe he could wear it. Tarvis writes in on the text line. Just turned the dial to see what this yacht club was all about. Now I can't come back. Have a good life. All right. We got another listener over on 1180. That's okay. As long as you're in the NRG Media family of stations. Doc says backwards hat and chain. Rhule is having an identity crisis. Yeah, I don't know. I maybe. I don't know what they're. I don't know what. I wonder if you asked him right now what they're trying to be. What do you want the program to be? I think they would have an answer, but I don't know that we're anywhere closer to getting to the point where that answer comes to fruition than we were 4 years ago. 3 years ago, I suppose.
Yeah.
3 years ago. Are we any closer? Are we any closer to seeing Matt Rhule's vision coming to fruition
Matt Rhule's vision
than we were 3 years ago? If you can somehow figure out what Matt Rhule's vision is.
I mean, maybe marginally, but certainly not any more than that, right?
Yeah. I don't know. And I'm not trying to make excuses for him, but like maybe, Dylan Raiola, that whole thing is responsible for getting off track and whatever. But I don't know. I continue to think they're focused on the wrong stuff a lot of the times. And that's a problem. But they'll get some guys out of the transfer portal over the next couple of weeks, and it'll be like, whoa, these guys are going to be really good. And then somebody out there will be the first person to say, you know what, I think they're going to go 9-3 next year. And then eventually by the end of the summer, everybody will be saying that, and we'll continue this cycle until we can't anymore, until time literally ends. And that's
until time ends.
So happy 2026, everybody. All right. Another phone call. Here is Mike on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Hi, Mike. Mike.
Yes. Hello.
There you are. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey. All right. How are you guys doing?
Good.
I was just wondering, you kind of already answered it. Do we think Matt Rhule knows what he's doing? Do we think we know what he wants to do? I mean, we talk about all the time, and everybody, trenches. Got to have trench. You got to get better in trenches. Well, now the portal's open, and we don't even have a defensive line coach. I mean, if you're in the portal and you want to get somebody good to come to help the defensive line, and they say, well, who's your coach? And you don't have one. What are you gonna do? It's just silly, stupid stuff, just stupid stuff like that. And as far as the hat goes, I don't care which way he wears it. I don't care what color it is. Just learn how to coach. Do something right. It's just unbelievable to me that this guy got an extension. That's Troy ought to be held responsible a little bit too. But when are we going to get a coach on the defensive line? I mean, everything went from Robinson to nothing to zero, ghost.
Yeah, maybe this week. I'd say probably by this, I guess it is Friday after all. Within the next 7 days, my guess would be that Nebraska would have a defensive line coach.
I hope we go get some defensive linemen, some offensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. We need to get physical before we even – I don't care who the quarterback is. Get physical first. Look what Iowa does with their freaking I almost said a bad word. Not very good quarterbacks over the years. At least they still win 7, 8, 9 games.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're physical. I mean, take care of the trenches and then worry about the skill players later.
Thank you for the call, Mike. Appreciate it. Yeah. And keep in mind, there's only so much they could do right now. Once again, they don't play another football game for another 9 months. But I would imagine that the last 3 games have left a little bit of a sour taste in some people's mouths, including my own, Josh.
Your own.
Yes. I do not feel great about things right now.
Okay.
SEAL Team Nick's writes in.
Hi, SEAL Team Nick.
The backwards hat bit needs to die. Joel says Yacht Rock hat greater than backwards hat.
Ooh.
I tend to agree. Check out my Yacht Rock 1180 hat.
Have you seen this thing? This thing is a beaut.
Pretty good stuff. John.
Hi, John.
John emails in. He says, having 40 different versions of a person who is consistently changing himself to try and sell what he's saying, is that the definition of a snake oil salesman? I saw a lot of snake oil chatter over the weekend.
Hard to really
I just don't
argue against that.
I don't like labels. Because you think of the snake oil salesman, you think of something really, really specific. And I think Matt Rhule means well. And to be very clear, like I think that the program is in a better place than when he took over.
Just made back-to-back bowl games.
Yeah, there's the winning part of it, but I think in general, like the culture is better, and
I heard they were going to eliminate the program 10 years ago.
They have it. I think they have a higher floor as a program than they did a few years ago. But we're getting to the point where that maybe is not enough for people anymore. And I'm not saying it shouldn't be, here's what I'm not saying. I'm not saying fire him.
Okay.
I'm not saying fire him. I am saying that I am starting to get weary about how far he can take it beyond where we're at right now.
I think that's where I'm at.
Maybe starting is a little bit of an odd word. I continue to be weary about how far he can take it. And some of the stuff that I don't like is starting to show.
He seems to be working very hard.
Yeah, he definitely does that. Yeah, I think he means well. He's not a bad. He's not a bad guy at all. I just wish I knew who he was. Oh yeah, there was the other thing, by the way. Brian, thank you for emailing this in on the Equitable Bank inbox.
Thank you, Brian.
I'm not sure if backwards hat Matt was a good thing or not, but I do know backwards hat Matt spits a lot. There was spitting, Matt. He was spitting the whole game. Did you see this?
No.
I felt like because he was wearing a backwards hat, he felt the need to be spitting all the time. He was spitting during the games.
Huh.
He's not usually a spitter. You see what I mean?
What
I
an
just feel
edge.
like he's like cosplaying whoever he wants to be on any given day. And like that sounds really harsh. I don't mean it to be that harsh, but I think he does a good job of like playing the part. You know, It's literally like Michael Scott. It's Prison Mike. You know, he formulates an accent. He puts on a bandana, and he starts talking about Dementors.
Doug in Idaho, all caps.
Doug.
What was the spitting?
What? You didn't notice this, Josh? Or how much were you even watching?
I did not watch much. I'll be honest with everyone.
You don't have
here.
to tell. I don't care if you watched it at all.
I knew it wasn't going to go well, and
okay.
It was about 14-7.
They
and
kept
I was
showing
like,
me.
do I need to?
It was like 4 camera shots in a row. He was just spitting.
Is this like the lipping where it just the lip licking?
The lip licking. Yeah, I don't think that didn't feel like a bit at the time, but maybe we need to go back and reevaluate that. Maybe it was because he definitely shed it.
Just kind of an involuntary.
Or maybe he heard so many people talking about how he licks his lips all the time and he stopped it. Once again, focused on the wrong things.
I want to be focused on
you think Kurt Signetti cares about how Kurt Signetti, my man, showed up, beat Alabama 38-3 yesterday, and didn't have a shirt underneath his quarter zip. He is a psychopath, and he does not care how he looks.
He doesn't care that he doesn't smile.
He doesn't care what he says.
Yeah.
He is himself, unashamedly. And I just want to
love him because he wins.
Well, yes, they love him because he wins, but they love him because he's him. He's himself. You know what he's going to do at any given moment. I don't know what Matt Rhule's next bit's going to be. What's his next deal? Is he going to wear a sideways hat? Is he going to take one of his sleeves off of his shirt and tape it to his face? I don't know what he's going to do.
I'm out here against Ohio only wearing one shoe.
Is he going to wear one shoe? Is he going to wear sandals now? I don't know what he's going to do next. But it'll be something weird, I'm sure.
I don't know when he's going to call timeout. I don't know when he's going to go for it. I don't know when he's going to kick it.
I don't know when they're going to return kicks from the end zone. What the hell was that? Why were they returning those kicks? I think we should take a break, but I feel like we're back. I feel like
we found ourselves.
I feel like the Connor Happer show is back.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And we are most certainly back after this on 1620 The Zone. So, what's the significance of this game, Josh?
I believe it is MLB Debuts Day on MLB Network.
What's that? Whose debut is this?
This is Jacob deGrom's MLB debut.
Okay. Against the Yankees in a year. Probably, I don't know.
14.
Oh, okay, there you go. May 15th, 2014. Wow. Well, maybe Jacob deGrom will call into the show.
You never know.
Somebody will get Jacob deGrom to call into the show. Whole question up at Happer Show. Will Matt Rhule's next bit to cut off one sleeve and tape it to his face?
Some people are asking that question, and we want to put it out to the people.
People are saying that we should come up with a Matt Rhule's next bit wheel.
Oh, his next bit, or just dissect the old ones?
No, I think Matt Rhule's next bit wheel is funnier because we could come up with potential bits, PNBs for him, and spin it, and then we could evaluate whether we would like that bit or not. And the answer is almost always no. That's the fun of it.
There are very few things he could do where I'd be like, yeah, I like that.
That sounds like a good idea. Except for one spot on the wheel just says win games.
Win games.
By the way, this is a great YouTube comment from Control Z Society.
I Control Z Society.
What a graphic to have. Josh had the Panthers versus the Bucks graphic up during the break, which you'll hear on 1620 The Zone tomorrow.
That's right.
The NFC South Championship
tomorrow
game.
Because today's Friday.
Tomorrow is indeed a day where NFL football happens. What a graphic to have up. The Panthers. Rhule left them in good shape. Look at what they're doing now. Laid the bricks down. I don't know if that's exactly how I would categorize what the position that Matt Rhule left the Panthers in, but I like that idea. I like that idea. They do play for an NFC South championship tomorrow. There will be at least two people in Omaha who will be very curious about this game. Myself and Austin Jacobson.
If you got them, you can get the heart of the people.
As you all know, there's a big Nebrasketball game tonight.
The biggest.
At Pinnacle Bank Arena. It might be the biggest. I also want to take a couple minutes after this and talk about some things that we did and experienced over time. We often don't get left to our own devices. And I didn't have Josh there telling me to not do things at any point within the last 2 weeks. So I don't know. I'd like you to evaluate some of the decisions that I made.
Okay.
Over the break. We'll do that.
Great bit.
In just a minute. Here is Nebraska Ball Mike. Good to hear from you, Mike. What's up?
I'm nervous tonight. First of all, what time is the game?
The game is at 8.
8 o'clock. Okay. Can we get off in that window, please?
Well, yeah. It's San Diego, the Big Ten. Kind of. Except for San Diego.
Okay. First of all, TJ Lateef is a toothpick. Okay? He's a toothpick. He's good.
He's small.
But is he durable enough with an offensive line that doesn't know what they're doing? I don't know. Okay?
Yeah.
We were never going to beat Utah. They have a quarterback who's probably going to Michigan. Bryce Underwood's probably going to end up somewhere else, which is more of a nightmare for everybody. But that is what it is. So we need help, and right now I don't know where it even starts because none of the quarterbacks sound like they're any experienced right now or any good.
You got to start. I mean, it's almost like a reset, Mike, don't you think? So it's like a little bit of a reset.
We're looking at backups from big programs, but I don't know what that means for us.
Hey, they were the youngest roster in the Big Ten this year. Have you heard that?
Well, I believe it, and I hope they don't play like it next year.
What is your prediction for the basketball game tonight?
Well, I saw something that it's only a 2-point spread.
Well, Nebraska's a favorite.
I don't understand that.
Well, I mean, they're at home. The home crowd, home court advantage is worth probably 3 points. And there you go.
Izzo is Izzo. He doesn't come in here with non-athletes.
It's true. He's got a good team.
And by the way, No Sit Sunday was a zoo.
It was.
I was there.
What will you do if
No Sit
Nebraska ball?
Sunday.
What will you do if they win tonight?
If they win tonight, I tell you what, I was thinking about this earlier. There was a year where Kyle Carver was here, I believe. And Creighton had started the year like some obnoxious number like 20-0 and started 9th in the country.
I don't know if they ever got that high, but yeah.
Out. And if we get past this, we're looking at that number.
Oh, I mean, Nebraska could be a top 10 team if they win.
And that's insane.
It is insane. It's weird.
And last thing I'll say, the sight lines at the Wilson Arena are really good everywhere. I was in the club zone on New Year's Eve.
Watching the Lancers?
I was AEW showed up.
Oh, AEW. Yes, I forgot about New Year's Eve Dynamite Smash.
Yeah, it was really nice. The sight lines were really good. If you have a chance to go to an event there, go.
Mike, did you win tickets from us or did you just go?
No, I just went.
Oh, okay. I was going to do the thing where I was like, tell us which station made you a winner, and then you were going to say 1620 the zone.
This isn't 1992.
You're right.
Look, enjoy the game tonight. Everybody's going to be wrecked, but be loud and make Izzo feel what we can do. And if we walk out here with a win, we are looking at a top 4 seed in the tournament.
Whoa!
I think
it's looking that way at this point. Yeah. Thanks, Mike. There he goes. Happy New Year to Nebraska Ball Mike. Now, I don't know. It might be a little bit early to be like, hey, we're going to be a 4 seed in the tournament if they win the game. You know, you got a long way to go. There are more games in the season. But if you do win tonight, if you're Nebraska Ball and you do win tonight, then like if there were some sort of, I don't know, what do they call these, Josh? People who make brackets like 2 months in advance.
Bracketologist?
Something. There's a word for it. Bracketologist, is that what they call it? Yeah. They would have Nebraska as like a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament, which is an amazing snapshot in time, even if it doesn't come to fruition, which it may, but an amazing snapshot in time to look on, Lenardi's bracketology on January, I was going to say 6th, but let's say a different day. And it says Nebraska Ball is a 2 seed. What a time.
I want somebody named Nebraska Ball Mike to just really untether themselves.
I know. He seems so concerned all the time. I'm glad he commented on the sightlines at Ralston Arena, too.
Even tonight, if it doesn't go your way, it's just one game. Like, you got to like where your team's positioned.
I think you do. And I think you roll. I think now is a good time to be getting Michigan State, right? It's earlier in the season. They haven't quite figured themselves out completely yet.
It's January, not famously March.
Nebraska has themselves figured out right now. We're going to see how far that can take them. They have an identity, Josh. They have an identity.
An identity. Interesting thing to have.
It's fascinating. Okay, so when we come back, Josh is going to grade some of my decisions that I made over the last 10 days, 10, 12 days.
Okay.
And we're going to see if my break was worth my time. We'll do that after this on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. But first, fast breaks, buzzer beaters, block parties, they are back, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. And with Underdog Unwrapped, you'll unwrap tons of promos throughout the holidays. Boosts, gimme picks, deal reveals, and even some surprises sprinkled in. Now is the best time to get in the game. You can make picks and win money right now in Nebraska with Underdog. It's very easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, steals, and more. So I always give the player I give for an example is usually Nikola Jokic. Don't do anything with him over these next couple weeks. But there are plenty more options for you on Underdog. You get those picks right, you go up to 5,000 times your cash. Download the app today. Use promo code Happer1620 and score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. Promo code Happer1620. Underdog. Make picks. Win money. Must be 19 plus and present. Nebraska. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/playing. Get terms _DFS_.html for details. Get served with your play. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. Joyo writes in on the YouTube. He says, Happer, I thought the pastrami was pretty good. What'd you think? So I sat down. This is one of the decisions that I made over break.
Okay.
I made the decision to go to the New York style deli inside of the old KFC Long John Silver's at 132nd Maple. And I went there and I ordered a pastrami and I sat down, and then I assume this was Joyo on his way out the door, said, Happer, love the show. And I thought, this is perfect. What a great place for me to be seen at the New York style deli eating a pastrami with a dear friend.
That's the person you've publicly portrayed yourself to be, and then for someone to
it's perfect,
randomly find you there.
It might be the place where you most would want to see me, right?
It's like if I ran into Matt Rhule at Lids or something.
What would be the most Matt Rhule place to walk into Matt Rhule at?
The podcast studio.
The fact that we don't know the answer to that question is pretty alarming, right?
The dry bar.
I would have said a couple years ago, I would have said some Italian like Vincenzo's or something like that downtown, but no. Not
you
anymore.
Don't know
now. Now I have no idea. By the way, there were a couple opinions on Rhule here. Jim writes in, backwards hat spitting. The reason he is spitting because he's chewing tobacco. Picked up the habit from Frost. No, I don't think he was. I think he was just spitting. But that'd be funny if he kind of slowly was just morphing into Scott Frost.
Well, they said if I'm wearing this backwards hat, I got to try this Zin stuff. So I put this Zin in my mouth. And
he could have been doing that, but you don't have to spit when you use that.
He wouldn't know that.
I suppose that is possible then. Michael writes in.
Hi, Michael.
Midlife crisis, backwards hat, Matt Rhule. I don't understand how a coach has to call a timeout to tie his shoe, that has to call a timeout to tie his shoe gets a contract extension. I mean, seriously, nobody knows why he called a timeout when they show him on TV tying his shoe. I don't remember that one. I remember the one where he called a timeout before the 3rd and 20 in which they scored. That was a problematic one. I remember the one in which they called a timeout because they were arguing with the result of a play again. TJ Lateef got smashed out of bounds on the sideline, didn't get called for a penalty. And then they were about to get a delay a game because they couldn't get the play in fast enough because they were too busy friggin' arguing with the call, and then they called a timeout.
That's probably happened half a dozen times.
It's happened at least 6 times. I completely agree with you, Josh. These timeouts are just being used willy-nilly. Anyway, that's just one of the things. Okay, so here's some things that I did.
Okay, how'd you spend your break? What'd you do?
So I went to the movie theater. It was the first time. I don't know. I really don't know what it may have been when we all went to see Cocaine Bear.
Connor, I think it was the Iron Claw.
I saw the Iron Claw on a Christmas probably 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think that was the last time.
So I think it was 2 years. All right, since I had been to the movie theater.
What do you do for popcorn?
And my wife comes up to me and she says, "Would you like to go to the movies?"
Okay.
And I said, "Sure. What do you think?" And she gives me her pitch on the movie that she wants to see. And I said, "Well, what about some other movies? What about?"
Whoa, okay.
I said, "What about?"
I'm sorry. I know, spoiler alert, I know what movie you saw. I just assumed it was your wife's idea.
No,
you said, yes, let's go.
For the record, it was. Because
Okay.
I was like, "What time is Marty Supreme going?"
Yeah.
And she was like, well, it doesn't really work. And whatever. It didn't work in our time.
Sure.
And so we didn't go to Marty Supreme. We stopped at a local sandwich place beforehand and ate some
Did you
sandwiches.
go back to the deli?
No, not that one.
Okay.
And then went to the movie and grabbed a big popcorn and saw The Housemaid with Sydney Sweeney's boobs.
That is the star of the movie. What'd you think?
It was not very good.
Okay.
And
boy, she's
I texted you right afterwards. She's
not good.
She's not really a good actress.
She's very attractive. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying she isn't worthy of being on a 3-story screen.
She had some good lines. Did you see it?
No, I haven't seen it.
She was kind of funny at times.
Okay.
But then I thought, is she only funny because I enjoy her presence? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. But Amanda Seyfried was good.
She's great.
She's hilarious
all the time.
And then the guy was kind of funny too. It was good bad. I would call it good bad.
Okay.
I didn't regret it. Movies are too long.
Movies are too long.
2 hours and 20 minutes
Looking
to watch
at
that
you,
garbage.
Knives Out.
I mean, this is a garbage throwaway movie with Sydney Sweeney.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Whoa.
Unnecessary.
You got to go less is more with those boobs.
You could have got that in 96 minutes.
Yeah.
Done. In and out. And I would have been the happiest man on earth. Maybe I'd have a better review.
Whoa.
2 hours and 20 minutes.
Connor, I'm not saying I don't believe you, but
good. Check it out.
Oh my gosh, it's 2 hours and 11 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So with previews, and
overshot it. Yeah.
Chevy ads, and you got to talk to your boy Greg Marcus.
I did. I did. He was playing the piano. He played Silent Night.
That boy Greg.
We
got to get Greg Marcus on the show.
That would be a great get for 2026.
It would.
Put it on our calendar.
Put it on my vision board after the show.
Just got a text from movie reviewer Peterman. Housemaid was meh. Sydney's best performance is unironically Anyone But You with Glenn Powell. I never saw it.
Yeah, she was fine in that.
Seems like her and Glenn Powell would be a good that have good chemistry.
I think we tried to make them a couple. Like, hey, you guys should date, and they're both like, nah, we're good.
But they're good on screen together.
Yeah,
it seems.
2 incredibly attractive people.
Okay. Then one of the it's hard to remember. These are just random things.
Sure,
I don't know.
It doesn't have to be chronological.
I don't know what days I did these. I didn't have anything to eat for lunch, and I was like, "What am I going to do?" I have this meal that I have to deal with. I usually don't eat lunch, right? I have this meal that I have to deal with now. And I looked in my pantry and I saw Tom and Cincinnati's can of Skyline chili. And I said, I think I'm going to do something with this.
Oh, my goodness.
And so I boiled a pot of spaghetti, and then I warmed up the chili. I put a bunch of handfuls of cheese on it. I put some onions on it, and I had Skyline chili for lunch. This is probably like 3 days ago. So nutmeggy, very
Whoa.
like kind of sweet. Like it's a powerful taste. And then I thought, this is not the thing. I didn't want this for lunch, and it was probably just a bad time. But I didn't I didn't hate it.
Okay.
It was fun.
So often on the weekends and days where we're not working, I just eat 2 meals. It seems like a lot of work to just eat 3 times a day.
I know. I skip breakfast most of those mornings because I like lunch better than breakfast anyway.
That's usually the route I go, but sometimes we'll have a late breakfast and then I'll have dinner.
So I ate Skyline chili and I didn't hate it. I think I liked Skyline chili more than that movie.
Okay.
I think I like Skyline chili more than that movie.
So it was the New York Deli.
Yeah, definitely.
Big Gap.
Definitely one of the biggest ones. Yeah.
Skyline chili.
Yeah.
The house made with Sydney Sweeney's boobs.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Sydney Sweeney and her boobs.
Oh, sorry.
Sydney, I always say Andrew Siciliano and his ears.
Yes.
Sydney Sweeney
and her boobs.
And her boobs. And I played golf at a golf simulator yesterday.
Okay.
I had a ton of fun with a bunch of my friends, and I thought I could really play golf at a golf simulator. This is a great thing.
Easier, better for you.
Well, it's harder in a variety of different ways, but like obviously we don't have very many options in the winter time.
Sure.
Here. And you just go and grab a couple beers. The bar's right there. They'll give you food. And I played golf at a golf simulator. It was awesome.
Sounds like a great time.
So those are the things that I did. How do you think I did over the holidays, Josh? Letter grade the entire thing. Those are all of the things that I did. I hung out with my family a little bit.
I'm gonna go. This might shock. I'm gonna go A-.
A-. All I needed out of that was a B-. So I'm happy to take the A-.
Certainly no worse than a B+. I mean,
I went to the movies.
Yeah.
I played a little golf. I ate sandwich. I ate Skyline chili.
Tried a new restaurant.
When you think about it that way, it's pretty good.
You had some popcorn.
Also,
you had a great time with your wife.
Mike writes it. Mike is holding me accountable for my claim before the break that I was going to revamp the YouTube. Hands up, I didn't do it.
Well, you heard.
I thought about it a couple times.
Busy.
I thought about it a couple times. I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
When would he have fit that in with all the stuff he just?
That one's on
said
me.
He did,
It's also on me that I was trying to pump the crowd up before we shot 2 free throws at the Creighton game on Tuesday. That's on me.
We want silence.
It was the under 4 timeout, and I'm like, you better get up out of your seats, you idiots. And then Ty Davis goes to the free throw line, and he's got to make 2 clutch free throws. So that one's on me too. I'm sorry.
Can we
it's situational awareness?
You might not be the best person to discuss this with because you were at a Creighton game waiting for a Creighton game to start as Marquette was letting it run down their leg against Seton Hall. My God, Marquette is bad.
They're horrible. I'm telling you, that's the worst team in the Big East.
They average 14 missed layups a game, Connor.
Yeah, we saw it in Omaha. All they do is miss layups. Chase Ross is a good player. He just misses layups.
They had like a 6-point lead with 14 seconds left, and they lost the game.
There you go. That was my break. I went out and had some dinner with friends one of the nights. Josh, you were there.
I was there.
You were there. We did that.
Fun time was had by all.
All right, we're back after this with Bryan Munson from HuskerOnline.com coming up on 1620 The Zone.
Bryan Munson.
Hey, long call. Comfy left zoom buster. 63 bang. Z Maui. Alert. Paradise Z Burger Y Wrap on one.
Husker Online on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Well, thank God that intro just played, because without that, I would have no idea which day of the week it was, and now I do. It's Friday. Bryan Munson from Husker Online joins us now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Hello, Munson.
Hello, Connor.
Hello. Have you been busy this morning?
Dude, I have been preparing for today, like with Sip and Sean and Robin out there in Vegas. You know, I feel I was so limited in what I could do this week, and everything's just like mounting up. It's just got this kinetic energy that's been building, you know, over the last couple of weeks with, you know, players that are expected to go into the portal, this hearsay, like I mentioned in Tunnel Talk last week, this hearsay kind of time frame or timeline where recruits are kind of like saying like, yep, you know, should be in there. And then agents are kind of making contact with all these GMs. And it was just, it's a really kind of new, awkward, uncomfortable kind of spot to be in, where you're reaching out to guys that you know, or tracking them down and asking them stuff. And you're just like on the down low, like really down low.
Yeah.
It's just, it's really been, it's a new kind of thing I'm still trying to get comfortable with. But today I feel like finally, like we're, you know, stepping out of that skin, and it's a little bit like I showered in Purell.
Yeah.
Know?
Well,
like,
yeah, it's actually real
got
today.
The scum off.
Yeah.
You're right. I got the scum off, and I feel like we can go out there and talk about it a little bit more.
Yeah. And so before we get to the potential additions, or the scope of the additions for Nebraska in the transfer portal, the subtractions, the new ones as of this morning. Now, let's see if I can track them all down here. We got
you had
Machachak, yeah, and there was one more this morning, wasn't there?
Yeah, there's a defensive lineman,
Jalen George. Yep.
Jalen George, yes. So I just posted our 1.0 hot board, and it's not just the guys that we're tracking or feel like it makes sense that Nebraska would be interested in them. Like some of that data that I have is like legitimate, like they're either on campus now, they're supposed to be coming to campus soon, they've heard from Nebraska, or it makes sense like with recent coaching hires. But then at the very bottom is exactly what you're kind of talking about. It gets into like, okay, who else is in there? It's Rhule, it's Hartzog, it's Gradney, it's Alvano, it's Davia, it's Noonan, Okafor, Vermas, Jamarian Parker, Machachak, and George. That's a complete list that we know about that are either in the portal or are expected to get into the portal. Is it,
I guess, how do you take it that there wasn't much in the intention category over the last month, when everybody, it felt like, was announcing their intentions, and a lot of it was sort of closed off to the quarterback position, but it reached out to other positions as well. But there was less movement there, not only for Nebraska, but for every other team, as far as announcing their intentions to go into the portal. Does that put a different spin on how it might look over the next couple weeks? Like, if, you know, do we think that it's still going to get busy for Nebraska here, or do we feel that less now?
I feel like it's still going to be busy. I mean, first of all, you just had your bowl game on December 31st.
True.
Players have all kind of gone their separate way. I think some players, you know, like Vermas was he's been in there for a month, right? Like in that category. So is Rhule. But guys like Machachak today, maybe having a chance to see what Jeep Wade is all about, or seeing how maybe he fits in or he doesn't, you know. I think also with, you know, this change again at the defensive line position, you know, I think there's some things that have just happened, I think, internally to Nebraska, where I think these players are coming back from Vegas. They're probably, you know, rolling out from having their prime rib, you know, the night before, and going, man, I don't know if I feel connected to that place anymore. And they're probably waiting to have some sort of a 180 or some sort of, like, you know, after action review with the coaches or with Matt Rhule to kind of figure out, whether or not there's a space there. And maybe it's with the GM and GM staff themselves to kind of, when it comes to like building this roster. Cause I don't know about you. I mean, and I mentioned this in Tunnel Talk, and I try to do it as politely as possible. And it's about as firm as I can say something against like what I think, is still a good situation with Matt Rhule. But you're 19-19 over 3 years. And if you think that you've been good with your evaluations to this point, then something is wrong.
Right.
It's only led you to a 500 record. So I think that maybe Stewart, coach, GM Stewart, not having any type of connection to, classes before this last one in 2026, that's a real positive, because now he's going in there kind of eyes wide open, can take the analysis that he has as far as looking at the players currently on the roster, have these hard conversations about you have a spot, you don't have a spot. And I think also you got to see through, and I mentioned this in Tunnel Talk this morning too, I don't think you can just like Alex Mansky, for example, great kid, going to be a good quarterback, but you can't just land on a name that or are familiar with and plug him back into the system. That's that second evil that we talked about earlier on that Matt Rhule chatted about like several months ago. You can't serve those two masters. You can't serve wins and losses and keeping people happy like within the area that are Nebraska fans. You've got to really get back to just winning football games. And I think it starts with proper and good evaluation.
No doubt. All right. So I wonder how you're taking the Kenny Minchie stuff this morning. Then.
Yeah.
So the backup quarterback at Notre Dame for the last couple of years, he just got done with his third year of college football. He appears to be, he goes into the portal with a no contact tag, and everybody's reporting that he's going to Nebraska. So I think we can connect those dots there. What to you is that Nebraska's starting quarterback in 2026?
I think it is, number one. I am intrigued by him because of a couple of different things. I think that you're talking about a quarterback that's been in a very good system. I think that he narrowly lost out on being the Notre Dame starter this last year to CJ Carr. It sounded like, in talking to Mike Singer about him earlier in the week, who's our Notre Dame guy, it sounded like it was a tremendous battle, and it really came down to just, a few kind of key moments. It could have gone either way. And he's performed well when he's gotten in there. He's got some versatility. He's got some athleticism. I think that, he's veteran enough to where he's been through the preparation side. I think that he just needs kind of a stage to do it. He's going to have 3, non-conference games to kind of open up the season next year. And then he's in for a doozy of a schedule next year. Good grief. If you don't get excited about having the possibility to go out there and play on a massive stage every single week, then Nebraska's not the place to go to, because Nebraska's got a really tough schedule next year. But I think you are dealing with a guy that's gone through doing things as a just packing a lunch and going to work, and that's what he needs to continue to do at Nebraska. And I think that, like I said, I think that he was narrowly missed out on being the starter for Notre Dame this last year. I think that's a great sign for the Cornhuskers. I think Nebraska is going to take 2 quarterbacks. You only got one guy in the room if TJ Lateef decides to stay. We haven't even talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
He could still. There's a lot of people that are down on Lateef this morning, and this is a guy that clearly you and I would agree that's not the same dude that we saw at UCLA. That's not the same dude at all. It seemed like he was still dealing with a mental block of like the hamstring and knowing that he can't push it too hard, and he put up some really nice balls on air, but he just, other than a 16-yard scamper, I think he only ran for another 5 yards, and it was like on 12 more attempts. Like, there's something that was just there blocking him. And I think obviously that things changed as the game went on that night against Utah. But yeah, you got to think about Lateef too. But I think Nebraska is in there for 2, and I think Minchie's a great one for Nebraska to start out with.
So there will be some, I don't know, as people get to know sort of the background, I'm sure there will be some folks who say, well, why didn't they go get somebody who's a little bit more established? And we saw some names who had popped up over the last couple weeks in this, as I like to call it, the legal tampering period, even though it is illegal at this point. But it's basically like, free agency in football.
Yeah.
They did not get a quarterback with any starting experience. How does that land with you if he is indeed their starter?
I think it ultimately is the biggest concern. And you wonder about the stage fright. You wonder about like how they would handle, stepping onto that stage. I think I've said it with you before, and if maybe it didn't resonate with you then, I'll make it resonate now. I think Nebraska is the ultimate fishbowl in college football for a quarterback. I think the media presence, I think it's startling from talking to other like former players about like when they've been put in front of that room to, after a game, or during the week after a practice. I think it's one of the most talked about positions, obviously in Nebraska. It's obviously in the country. And I think that's one of those things you're looking for a very mature individual. So now if you're looking for a guy that's got maturity, so you kind of think maybe you're getting that from that veteran status at Notre Dame. Obviously Notre Dame is also kind of in that, not kind of, they are very much watched. They're very much supported. He's had probably some very similar situations like what he's going to experience at Nebraska if that's what he decided to do. But I think that lack of being the starter, walking out there, and going from series to series and play to play, and how does he move on from a bad play onto the next down? Those are the things I think that are the most concerning to me. So how quickly can you get the guy there to then make him understand the offense, what they expect him to do, start getting him into those situational kind of scenarios and get a good feel for what he's all about. But that would be obviously the biggest concern you would have.
On the other hand, there is this piece of it. If you're not getting a quarterback who is established and experienced,
right,
with starting qualifiers coming along with them, you might be saving a little bit in the dollars and cents category. So where might that money be allocated to now that you pretty much officially know, hey, we have a little bit more money to deal with because that's money that we're not paying our starting quarterback, at least not to the extent that they were paying Dylan last year.
Well, and I think it could be quite a bit of money. I mean, if you and I, like what we were talking about before, I think we kind of estimate like what, $3.5 million probably, to Dylan this last year or so. If you go out there and you look around on Minchie anywhere, where does Nebraska have to kind of get to from where he was making before to make him the starting quarterback? Well, I mean, anywhere from like it sounded like maybe he was making 150 or so at Notre Dame. So if you're anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million, you still got about $2.5 million to reinvest in your roster. I mean, I'm using this as very fuzzy math, but I think I've got pretty good things to kind of back this up with. So to your point, where do you turn back around with? Well, I still don't feel, although I did like what I saw from Nelson, in the game against Utah, I still feel like they need kind of another bell cow kind of running back there, because I don't know if Mosey is long-term best suited for the running backs room or get him back at wide receiver. I still don't know if I see a group in the aggregate that can kind of put together, what's needed, I think, to play in the Big Ten. That still concerns me. I think that obviously you got to go spend some money on some offensive linemen. I mean, you're going to need a right tackle, a left guard. You still don't have great depth. I mean, when we start talking about, getting to 6 or 7 guys, I think, you and I would be like hard pressed to like say, here's 7. And then after that, like, I don't know. Like, I just don't know where else to kind of get to. And I think that's a problem. So I think that's an issue. I think they still need a wide receiver. But then you got to move over to the defensive side of the football. Because, I mean, ultimately, we didn't feel like they had the right guys on the defensive line, even as the 2025 class and portal season ended. You and I didn't. And now you're going to go to more of an even front. So now you have another interior guy that you still don't have on your roster. You've got to go back and make some investments, big investments on both sides of the ball in the trenches, and you got to get another couple guys that can put some pressure on the quarterback. Those are the places that I would start, and there's still another need or two like safety, maybe a wide receiver that can do some returning, kind of thing. But those are the places I think are the big high points for Nebraska to address in the portal.
No doubt, and we'll see which dominoes fall next. But a big one appears to have at least it's getting wobbly as of this morning. All right, Munson, we'll let you go. Busy man. We can't wait to see what we'll be talking about next week.
Happy New Year, brother.
Happy New Year to you as well. That's Bryan Munson from HuskerOnline.com. I guess I didn't ask him how many weightlifting sessions he had on New Year's Day or, with whatever was in the fryer or anything like that, sadly. But we'll save that for next week.
Yeah, something for another time.
Speaking of transfer portal additions.
Oh.
Well, I shouldn't say additions, but additions to the transfer portal.
Okay.
San Diego State linebacker Owen Chambliss is in the transfer portal, and he is set to visit Nebraska as of this weekend, according to Tim Verkees. We gotta get Tim on the show. He's good. And so there you go. That's a guy from Rob Urch's defense last year. I believe he was first team all conference player. Had, let's see here, 110 tackles, 9.5 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, a pick last year.
A pick,
and a fumble recovery.
That's more than the New York Jets.
Hey,
all of them.
Here's a quick research project for you during the break, Josh.
All right.
When's the last time this season Nebraska forced a turnover?
Oh,
they either got an interception or a fumble recovery. Not the thing in the Iowa game where the kick went backwards and they recovered it. That doesn't count.
Okay.
A defense. When was the last time they forced a defensive turnover? Does anybody have that information off the top of their head? Because
we're smart, capable individuals. We can find this out.
It's been a very, very long time. In order to force turnovers, one of the preambles to turnovers all the time is havoc, right? Forcing the quarterback to make stupid decisions. Nebraska was never forcing any quarterbacks to make any stupid decisions over the last couple games of the year. They were running free. Mr. Dampier was, he was high stepping. He was doing a little bit of everything. He was flying around. My guy threw for 350 and ran for 150. He could do no wrong in the Las Vegas Bowl. But quarterbacks were not under much duress playing against the Nebraska football Cornhuskers this year.
Just need some internet, and I'll get the answer for you.
Oh, you don't have that?
Well,
that seems like a you problem, Josh. I got some internet.
The term spotty comes
Go
to
out
mind.
California way. Get some internet. Get you some of that internet. A buddy of mine just texted me. He said Northwestern ? I don't know.
A lot of people are saying, "Oh, it has to be UCLA." It was not UCLA.
I don't think it was UCLA. They forced a bunch of punts in that game.
That's so far back I've gone.
I suppose I could go back to my drive chart and look at my defensive drive chart. Okay, so I don't have the bowl game in here. Iowa going backwards was end of half, touchdown, punt, touchdown.
They got a pick
field
against
goal,
USC.
Punt. Okay. Penn State was punt, touchdown, field goal, touchdown. UCLA was touchdown, punt, touchdown, missed field goal, turnover on downs, doesn't count.
Nope.
Touchdown, punt. USC, punt, touchdown, turnover on downs, interception.
Yep.
An idiotic throw by Jaden Mayava, if I remember correctly.
That happens.
Right to Andrew Marshall. Okay, so I believe that was November 1st.
Glad we broke that down, figured it out.
It's been a year has changed. And I guess Nebraska hasn't played a new game in this new year, but it has been quite some time.
Few teams have.
Let's take a quick break. A few teams have. A few teams haven't as well. A few teams that played actually didn't.
That's right.
Brian Christopherson is our next guest. Can't wait to talk to BC. And yeah, we'll be talking about some Nebrasketball tonight. Biggest Nebrasketball game ever, ladies and gentlemen. Chris in Montana writes in, by the way.
Hi, Chris in Montana.
3rd and goal from the 20. That Utah quarterback ate half a pastrami sandwich before he threw the pass in the end zone. He was just walking around. La-da-da-da-da. I think I'll throw it in the end zone now. Crazy stuff. Back with BC next on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, Brian.
Brian Christopherson.
I gotta take this. It's Hap.
B-Roni drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry.
Brian Christopherson, Husker 24/7 on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
And we're now joined by a man who did return from Las Vegas. Not that anybody didn't, I suppose. Brian Christopherson from Husker 247. Hi, BC. What's up?
How you doing?
Good. Did you stayed there the rest of the night, right? So you did New Year's Eve in Vegas?
Kind of. Brunson and I left to the airport at like 12:15. So we were in a hotel, but we didn't have a room that night. They hike up the prices on
Yes.
New Year's Eve, and our flight was leaving at like 6:30. So we're like, we're only gonna sleep 2 hours anyway. And I always worry I'm gonna like oversleep when I got to get on the plane early. So we didn't have a room, so we just booked it over to the hotel, and a very confused Uber driver's like, why are you guys leaving now? Like, when the party was cracking. I was like, that's sort of the story of my life. Like when the party's happening, I'm usually the guy who's outside.
That's honestly precisely why I respect this choice completely. I wouldn't I'm all for Vegas. I love Las Vegas. I go several times a year now, apparently. But I do not want to be anywhere near there on New Year's Eve. So I respect your decision.
Yeah, we had a good time though. I mean, it's probably more your town than my town. After like a couple days, I was like, okay, that's enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
But Bruns knows where to go for food that are not the every spots, but are great. And I went to the Sphere and saw Wizard of Oz. So I had some of that movie, I did some wholesome things while in Las Vegas. I want that to really be emphasized.
Yeah, it is. Okay. The record now has that, which is good. Did you, did the media or anybody else get to have a taste of the In-N-Out food truck that Nebraska had at Bishop Gorman for those couple days?
I didn't get any of that. I did have In-N-Out, but not from their food truck. I don't know if we're allowed on that. I can't be mixing in with their food. It could really cloud the coverage, Happer. If I had a burger. Or something.
That's true. If they were giving you food, you'd be like,
might be even more favorable than we're already accused of being to those guys. So didn't want to take a burger or anything.
That's true. Although there wasn't much favorable from many favorable takeaways. I don't think from the game on Tuesday. It felt like weirdly the kind of the appropriate bookend for what the last couple games of the season were, and now it feels like it's a really, really hard ending, and whatever is coming up next is going to be different in 2026.
It was appropriate in some ways, like the red zone defense of Nebraska. They were consistent to the end with that. I'll tell you what, last in the country in red zone touchdown percentage. That is a staggering stat. I know we've talked about it for 3 months, but I think it ended up that teams were in the red zone 38 times and they scored touchdowns 30 times, I believe. That's ridiculous. And of course you have the 3rd and 20 and then the 3rd and 9 from the 11-yard line where they score. It's stuff like that where you can connect this to what we're in now with the portal cycle, where you do have to find some guys. I know you got to develop what you have, but you've got to find some guys who can help wreck shop and make a quarterback uncomfortable. And I think if you go through this season, the only game where I felt like a quarterback felt it in the ice tub maybe the next day was Aiden Childs from Michigan State.
100%.
I thought they got to him and rattled his cage, and you could see it in his throws. That was the game where they actually hit him early, and then you saw what can happen, where a quarterback just throws it right to Deshaun, Singleton on a play. They just did not do that at other times, and Dan Pierre's a really good quarterback. He makes a lot of defenses look silly, can kind of play backyard football. Nonetheless, he just was never uncomfortable, and so that was consistent with how it's been. What is sort of is really disappointing is when you run it like they did the first 2 possessions, and then to have 5 in a row where you get where it's a 3 and out, that's where it's just like that stuff where you fall off a cliff, which is kind of makes you shake your head, and you're like, it didn't have to be as much of a lopsided affair as it was. It just when it gets away from this team, it really gets away sometimes.
So you're right. 30 touchdowns in 38 attempts in the red zone.
That's
for
unbelievable.
Nebraska's opponents. And this makes it worse, I think. 37 times out of 38 attempts, they got points. The opposing team.
What was the time they stopped them? I can't.
That was going to be my question for you. I felt like you might have that. You had a chance, at least more than I did.
No, I can't think of it offhand, but that's why Rob Orich is here. And people are going to have an open mind and hope that, he's got some ideas and can build that belief in guys. But one of the biggest issues that this team is going to have to overcome, and you're going to have to find it as you merge these new guys in, is it's the old Weezer song, when you pull that thread, don't let the sweater come undone. Like this team still has to get over that, and especially on defense, when they would give up an explosive like USC game, they think they're kind of rolling along, and then for 6 plays there's 160 yards or something like that and 2 scores. It's that sort of stuff where one play leads to 3 or 4 sort of automatically. Or at least it did with this defense, and it's got to be something you shift around, and that's going to be mindset, yes, but it's also going to be in this portal, and obviously developing, but this portal especially, you got to find some guys in the trenches. You maybe got to find like an Owen Chambliss, who I know is out there, and it could be on the visit list, guys like that who can make some stuff happen.
Yeah, BC, it's funny. I want to bounce this off of you. I was going to bring up the portal anyway. Like, I as much as anybody else, you want Nebraska to go out and get the best players that they possibly can and pay top dollar and all these different things. But I feel like going into this, for me, I feel like there's less stress about that from my perspective, given that I just wish they could get a group of players and then put them in a system where I understand what they're going to be asked to do. And maybe this is where you start, but like, I don't need them to go out and get, the best players in the country and spend the most money in the world. I don't think like that's not the missing piece of Nebraska football right now. It would help. Obviously it would help, but I feel like there's like a step or two in front of that they need to take this offseason.
You want that feeling. It's a feeling that like Iowa football has right now, where like whoever they put like sort of in that defensive system, whether you know their name or don't know their name, you have this belief like in 3 years he'll be doing something that matters. He'll have a role and know how he works within that defense, and there's no fogginess to it. Like the programs who really are excelling, like you sort of the steps it takes, and there's all the examples in front of each guy of like why it'll work. And I'm with you. You can throw money at stuff, and you have to in this day and age, and you got to get some guys who have that natural gift or maybe have higher levels than others. But you're still going to have to build them within a system where you can really accent their talents in a way that I think this year probably was lost a little on the defensive end. It was just a hazy situation they had, and Rhule was, pretty much said that afterward, where it's sort of like you're trying to stick with what was Tony White's defense in a way, and John Butler's trying to work his system or his ideas like into that, and it just collided. And I guess the hope is now you've got someone in Rob Orich who, I do a 4-2-5. This is what I've done before. This is how we're going to play it. And I know what I'm looking for. And you hope that he can be that guy to kind of get instilled what you're talking about.
BC, we got to talk about basketball tonight. First of all, let's start it this way. Did you see that the Nebrasketball managers lost 102-31 to Michigan State last night? Apparently that was the thing.
No, I did not know that.
Not good. Now, I don't know. Maybe it is good. Like maybe there's something in there where the records would dictate if your managers get absolutely pummeled, then you'll have a chance to win the basketball game. I don't have the stats on that, but it was startling when I just saw it on Twitter a few minutes ago.
Maybe our boys were just building up a little false sense of confidence in their side of things. So I'm going to go with that. But that's an ugly score. I have to talk to some of those guys about what they're doing, and also how how they let that get out of the building, that was actually the score. Somehow that needs to be kept under wraps.
Yeah. That's going to be a secret scrimmage.
Yeah. Hopefully tonight's a better showing, and I think it will be. Of course, last year when Nebraska played Michigan State, different team, but they really got pummeled out of the gate, and that was a really ugly game in East Lansing. The thing, Fred's talked about is with Michigan State, they'll play faster than anybody in the country. And so, especially in those first 4 to 5 minutes, Nebraska's got to be ready for those first few laps down the court and they really are this fast. And then you got to hit them first on the boards. I mean, they're a funny team. They're like almost that type of squad where you want the guy to make the second free throw so they don't get another chance at an offensive board because they attack the glass in that sort of way. So they're going to have to be really savvy with their transition defense, and even if there's a loose ball that you can't get to, knowing when the play's there and when it's not, so that you have your numbers back to guard this team, because they will push their foot down on that pedal all game.
Yeah, I think there's probably an athleticism jump here based on what Nebraska's seen so far in their season, that you mentioned the pace. That's one part. There will be an adjustment, I think, to that tonight. But there's solace here, and this connects it back to the football question a little bit. I think Nebraska obviously they have a really, really good idea of who they are. I don't expect them to deviate from any of their paths of what they've been so far this season, just because the opponent looks a little bit different on the other side.
No, I don't either. And, this is where that veteran roster you have really comes into play, where, I mean, yeah, you do have to adjust to their pace and all that stuff, but Nebraska's got so many experienced guys who know what each other's strengths are. I think we've seen them actually play their best basketball when the competition's gone up this year.
Yeah.
If you look at Nebraska, it's sort of strange. I wouldn't say they've sleptwalk in those games, but they've been cold shooting in the first halves against some of these, directional type school games. And it hasn't looked as pretty, but when you look at against Oklahoma, against Illinois, stuff like that, you've seen the best come out of Price Sanford and Rink Mast and take it up a notch. And so that's what you're looking for tonight. Obviously, one or both those guys are going to have to be hot. Sammy's going to have to do all the niche work that he has specialized this season, get a couple drives of the bucket in timely fashion. All that stuff has to connect together, but they do have a confidence right now in what each other guy does well and sort of what their roles, as McDermott said. And when Nebraska played Creighton, it's a team where guys at this point are showing they're really champions of their roles and what they do well. And so that's just got to fall through with that now.
Should be a fun one tonight. Should be loud. Bring your earplugs, BC.
All right, will do.
See you later.
Yep, thanks a lot.
Brian Christopherson from Husker 247. Many people, whenever Nebraska basketball plays a big game, you'll hear people talk about No Sit Sunday again. No Sit Sunday.
Every single time.
Oh, Josh is mad about this because he's heard it repetitively. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Find a new slant.
I mean, this is
exciting tonight.
It's better than that from the perspective of Nebraska has an opportunity here to tell America that they are going to be a Big Ten title contender. That's we talked about messages before. That's a message that I want delivered.
Yeah, that would be a good message.
And guess what? You don't have to wear a backwards hat to do it.
Oh,
you just have to win.
Just win, baby.
And they are favorites in the game. To BC's point, I saw some stats going on about over the last couple of days about how they perform against top 100 teams or top 50 teams compared to the rest of their schedule. It is pretty fascinating. So they've played, according to our dear friends from Bart we still got to come up with our Lady Torvik
Torvik song.
This is men's Torvik, aka Bart. So they've played, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 games against top 100 competition so far this year, and their adjusted efficiency numbers are way. Obviously, they're 6-0 in those games, but they're undefeated in all of their games.
That's right, Connor.
Their adjusted offensive efficiency numbers are way up there, 7th in the country against top 100 teams. In all of their games this year, 13-0, they're 44th in adjusted offensive efficiency. So, to BC's point, they get better when the competition gets better.
Okay.
Or at least that's what's happened so far this year. Against top 50 teams, unfortunately, we don't have much of a sample size here. They've only played one, but it was a good one, and it was against Illinois, where they made 12 out of 26 threes, and their adjusted offensive efficiency was 150. So that's that's number tonight. 1 in the country, right?
Yeah.
So if Nebraska has a night where they knock down, 14 for 36 from 3, you're like, all right, I can see it. It's just, can they get those shots and can they get them in rhythm? Have to be some individual guys making plays and stuff like that. We'll talk about that more as we go on throughout the show. By the way, Aaron wrote in on Twitter.
Aaron.
Is the Andrew Marshall pick against USC? That was in the red zone? I don't think it. We're talking about red zone, the one red zone defensive stop that Nebraska got this year.
Well,
I mean, I can look it up in my drive chart. I know the Marshall pick was the last turnover they got.
That's from, because that tweet's from 20 minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
So
Maybe it was that then.
We've asked many questions on the show.
So let me see. I could actually track this real quick. The red zone starts at the 20, right?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So it wasn't in the Northwestern game. You got no, you didn't force a turnover in the Minnesota game, obviously. You didn't force a turnover in the Maryland game.
Interesting.
You forced a couple turnovers in the Michigan State game, but neither of those were in the red zone for the other team. Okay, so now we're going back into the crap games. Well, I guess Michigan fumbled, but it was around the 50-yard line. Okay. Houston Christian. We had a fumble at the 29. We had a fumble at their own 8. Nope, so it wasn't that. Akron. Was it a... Wow, they forced one fumble in that game. Was it the Cincinnati game? Possibly. Fumble at the 67, so fumble at like the 33. I can't find it. Somebody's gonna have to get back to me on that. Sorry for wasting your time with that, with the random
Stumanji
mumbling. We'll be back. I'll take a harder look at it. But Josh has the odd news for the first time in a long time. Yeah, that's right. We're back.
I got it.
On the wagon. Back on the wagon? Yeah. I need my odd news fixed, Josh.
Well, you'll get it.
After this on 1620 The Zone.
After further review, the host is deemed to be out of bounds. The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
In school sports, it's easy to see the wins, the moments that make headlines. But there's so much work that goes unseen for any of it to happen. My name is Phil Risen, and I'm the Executive Director of the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. Throughout the country, athletic administrators dedicate countless hours to making life-changing opportunities possible for student athletes through sports. Their sacrifice is fueled by the belief that every student can grow and deserves their time to shine. On behalf of the NIAAA, we want to thank every athletic administrator for your tireless dedication to
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Oddson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Oddson. Odd news, Oddson. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
All right, it looks like Stu Manji has at least received the bat signal. We'll see if he can find our answer on when the one time was that Nebraska allowed an opponent this season to go into the red zone, and that opponent came away with 0 points.
One time.
Could it have, because I couldn't find a turnover on my drive chart, but maybe my scope isn't wide enough. Could it have been, I mean, nobody was punting from the red zone, right? It could have been a missed field goal. It could have been a missed field goal. It probably was a missed field goal. Let me type in missed field goal, and then we'll see if we can find anything. Michigan missed a field goal from the 26. Northwestern missed a field goal from also the 26. And USC missed a field goal from the 34. Huh. I still don't have it. It was probably a turnover on downs, I guess. Somebody went for it. Yes, I found it.
You found it.
I found it. Akron. It was Akron.
Oh, okay.
Nebraska had a goal line stand after a 9-play, 63-yard drive that started at the 36-yard line from Akron that got all the way to Nebraska's 1. No. That's wrong. I'm looking at... I'm doing horribly. It wasn't Akron. It was not Akron. I was looking at the offensive one.
It seemed so.
That seemed
likely.
Right. That seemed correct, but it wasn't. All right. What's going on in the odd news today, Josh? Give me. Akron missed a field goal.
Akron missed a field goal.
Akron missed a field goal from the 16. Akron missed a field goal.
Idiots.
Akron missed a field goal after a 7-play, 49-yard drive that took off 3 minutes and 21 seconds. That was the only time this season where Nebraska allowed an opponent into the red zone. That opponent did not score any points. It's done. It's official.
Good thing
your watch is over, Stu Manji.
You can rest now.
Good thing I figured that one out.
Rio de Janeiro. Ever heard of it?
Yes.
They've been officially recognized by Guinness World Records
And
as
the Olympics once.
They did. Ryan Lochte did some things
Mm-hmm.
As the host of the world's largest New Year's Eve celebration, after authorities verified that 2.5 million people gathered on Copacabana Beach, ever heard of it, to welcome in 2025.
How many?
To welcome in 2025? It took a year to verify this, or is this a typo in my article?
Probably a typo.
The certification was presented days before the city's annual Revellion.
Okay.
I'm a stupid white guy. I'm sorry. During a ceremony on the beachfront attended by the mayor and a Guinness representative. The record recognizes not only the number of attendees, but also the scale, artistic production, and cultural relevance of
How
the
many
event.
people?
2.5 million.
2.5 million people.
Mm-hmm.
And how small did the area have to be in order to be recognized?
2.5 million. I don't have the dimensions of the celebration.
I would like to know because
Yeah.
I mean, because then
New York has something to shoot for.
Well, then I mean, like you could just get any gathering of two, and you could just take any city,
okay,
and
yeah.
say
That was a
"Here,
gathering,
look, there's
sure.
3 million people here. They're all gathered.
19 offshore platforms, 1,200 drones, and a 12-minute fireworks display. You see, the city of Rio set forth to put together a fireworks show that lasted more than 4 minutes, unlike other cities that we currently live in.
Josh,
Yeah. Did you hear?
I have something. I had a freak out.
Oh,
on the fireworks.
Yeah.
Whatever. Do your firework like the places do their fireworks show.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Some fail miserably at them downtown Omaha.
I didn't know about that. I have no idea because I was too busy being pissed in my own house because constantly yet invariably from 11 o'clock p.m. to 12:15 a.m. on the night of December 31st into January 1st, fireworks are going off.
Oh, ours started at 8.
It is January, Josh.
Yeah.
And they are loud. And they are right next. Like, okay, go out there, shoot one off. Happy New Year. See you later.
Back in the house.
They're sitting out there with their lawn chairs like it's the 4th of July.
Mild winter. That's what you get.
This has to stop. This has to stop.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought about it in a bigger picture, and I thought, I actually think fireworks should be illegal.
Great take.
For most of my life, I couldn't understand why fireworks were illegal. Why do we have to go to Missouri to buy our fireworks and why there's certain restrictions? And now I agree completely. Fireworks should be illegal. People shouldn't be allowed to buy them.
No, you can't handle them.
You can't. You
can't.
Yeah.
I'm sure you listening to this show, you set off the right amount of fireworks, and
I'm sure you're doing great.
Yeah, but everyone else can't handle it.
I was infuriated.
You would never allow someone to emerge from the bank of the Missouri River and interrupt your fireworks display. And when you tell that person to leave, they trip over the cord, ruining the entire fireworks show for the city.
Like
you would never do that.
I wouldn't. I don't even. Is that really what happened?
That's what happened.
Yikes. Like the 4th of July, you expect it, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
This is bad.
That first one on New Year's Eve, which in our neighborhood took place at about 8 o'clock, you're like, oh, yeah, I forgot. They're legal tonight. Oh, crap.
The dumbest thing.
Yeah.
The dumbest. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
You good?
Yep. What's
Okay.
next? I'm going to eat the salted nut.
Okay. Well, while you do that, I'm going to tell you about a Florida man who was arrested this week after stealing 400 pounds of avocados from a Miami area grove. Adele Perez, 29 years young, arrested after deputies said they saw him leaving a fenced avocado grove with bags of avocados estimated to weigh about 400 pounds.
Hey, I wondered when I went to the wineries if I took some grapes off there, what they would do.
Seems illegal.
It does. But I just wanted a couple.
Yeah, just
like what am I? I'm not going to turn it into wine.
You're right. You're not going to go up against them in a corporate.
Like, do you think if I
battle.
would have picked a couple grapes off of there, they would have came out and kicked me out of there?
It's entirely possible.
Maybe.
Depends on how tough they're, how strictly they're watching those people. But
Oh.
Perez allegedly told police he was unemployed and planning to sell the stolen fruit to buy presents for his children. While that's a sad excuse, like, makes you feel for the guy, he still had 400 pounds of avocados on his back at 3:10 a.m. Monday morning.
Sure.
The sign, there was a no trespassing sign outside the Grove. The man has been charged with trespassing on an agricultural site and third-degree grand theft, as the avocados had an estimated value of $800.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty serious stuff. It's probably one of the more expensive fruits.
And also, while you're thinking to yourself, oh, they're making fun of a man who, essentially stole bread to feed his family. He put the avocados in his Mercedes Benz. So
he was just sick of buying them.
I mean, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and question the Christmas presents alibi.
I don't know what you're going to do with 400 of them, though. You got
400 pounds of them.
Oh yeah, 400 pounds. Like, you got to sell them all.
Yeah, and you got like 3 days.
Mm-hmm. They're gone.
I guess you could probably go to a grocery store and just, hey, you're selling a lot of avocados.
Yeah, but no grocery store is going to buy that.
I wouldn't think so.
No reputable brand.
This is Florida, so
maybe. Okay.
Finally, we go to Pennsylvania, where now I don't remember doing this story, but a woman did this in 2025 and was sentenced this week. So you tell me if the story rings a bell.
Oh yeah, well, another thing we have to talk about.
Okay. I don't.
I'll tell you after this.
A woman who defecated inside a beer cave at a convenience store has been sentenced during a court hearing yesterday. Crystal Goss, 47 years young, pled no contest to a misdemeanor charge of disorderly conduct that created a hazardous and physically offensive condition. Goss was fined $75 and ordered to pay restitution of $80 to the Hanover business. The judge also barred Goss from returning to the store, which is about a mile from her home. In April, she walked into a Royal Farms convenience store and did her business in the beer cave. Police were baffled because, there's just a bunch of clear glass in the beer cave. Not a lot of privacy.
Mm-hmm.
But,
a little baffling.
Yeah, they had her on tape, and they found her pretty easily and said, hey, what's up with that?
You can't do that.
You can't do that.
All right. So
$80.
It all reminded me of this. The serial butt sniffer.
Oh.
So the butt sniffer, who has now multiple times been sentenced to various periods of time in jail
This is in California,
going around and sniffing people's butts. He was sentenced 99 days in jail in August. It has been 99 days today. Today, butt sniffer guy is out and a free man.
Okay.
At least according to when we last talked about this. All right.
If you're in Burbank and a guy with Shrek ears comes up to you, you need to run the other way.
99 days. Oh, wait. Maybe. Gosh, now that I'm looking at it, there may have been an update to this. He got 99 days in jail after violating parole a couple of weeks ago. So the clock has been reset.
Oh no.
It appears on this person. A man who was previously arrested twice for inappropriate behavior at a business in Burbank and arrested after parole and sex registrant compliance check in Glendale was sentenced this week to 99 days in jail for parole violation. This was on December 19th.
Oh.
His arraignment earlier this week, 39-year-old Khalees Crowder was found to have violated the terms of his parole and sentenced to time in the county jail. He was arrested November 24th after failing to meet an annual sex offender registration requirement for more than 2 months. The Glendale Police Department assaults unit arrested Crowder, dubbed by authorities as butt sniffer, at his residence.
It's an accurate nickname, but not a creative one.
So he's got a bunch of different stuff going on, but I think the clock now has to get reset on Mr. Butt Sniffer Guy. It was funny when I was coming into work this morning on my CarPlay on my phone on my car. It said Butt Sniffer Guy alert, and I knew exactly what it meant.
I knew what it meant. Yeah.
Yep. All right, thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
There was another thing I was going to mention in that segment too, but I'm sure we'll find it. We'll find it in ourselves. Coming up in the noon hour on 1620 The Zone. But first, football season continues to roll on. It's in full swing, and however you'd like to get in the action, you could do it on Underdog right now in Nebraska. This season, you can make team picks and player picks. Just download the app, sign up, and you'll get $75 in bonus entries when you make your first $5 fantasy entry. Using Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite team will win or if your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Plus, with Underdog's ultra-fast payouts, you can get your profits in a snap. So, download the app today. Use promo code HAPPER1620 to score $75 in bonus entries when you make your first $5 fantasy entry, player picks, team picks, all on Underdog. Crypto.com predictions powered by Underdog Predict. Trading derivatives involve risk and may not be appropriate for all. For more information, visit 8x.com/rules and underdogfantasy.com/rules. For Crypto.com predictions, the term pick refers to a product traded on CDNA. Must be 19 plus and present in Nebraska. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/playing get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
He does it the only way he knows how. with his massive sports brain sprinkled with a smidgen of rabble-rousing. Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Welcome back. Connor Happer, Josh Oddson with you in the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Hope you had a good holiday. I cannot get my cameras. Probably because I moved too much. And, of course, I wanted to we have to get it squared away on me to, of course, highlight the fact that I am wearing a backwards hat. Josh, I'm telling people that I'm cool by wearing a backwards hat. That is the message I'm sending. Don't I kind of look like a really cool guy?
I would say so.
Isn't it good for you to just kind of see me in this light?
I just like seeing you.
Isn't it just nice to just see me this way?
Mm-hmm.
We're usually I'm one person and now I'm a completely different person, all because my hat turned backwards. Wouldn't you say that that's the case?
You look so much more determined, like you are going to get the job done because you've turned your hat backwards.
I'm going to get the job done.
Like Sylvester Stallone and Over the Top.
Mm-hmm. That's what happened with him.
He turned his hat backwards.
All of a sudden, he got really good at arm wrestling.
Yeah, and that guy drank that motor oil.
His name was Motor Oil, wasn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah. What a great name for a guy, by the way. So, yeah, that's something to notice, of course, during the show, if you're watching along with us on YouTube. Rice and Texas State are currently battling in the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl, where Rice is 5-7. Back in my day, 5-7 teams weren't allowed to make bowl games, but I guess since so many teams were like, actually, I don't want to play in my bowl game this year,
Notre Dame.
They allowed Rice into the bowl games, which is nice.
Rice sent a nice fruit basket to the Irish.
Thank you, and Rice thanks the people at Lockheed Martin for the invite. And of course, thanks the Armed Forces for their service because they're in the Armed Forces Bowl.
Yes.
Right now. But there were more important bowls over the last 10 or 12 days, Josh. The college football playoff happened.
Oh, it did.
The first two games. Now we have reacted to the first set of games. We were here after the first set of games. The second set of games, of course, on New Year's Eve and then New Year's Day. Here's what happened. Miami 24, Ohio State 14. Uh-oh. Ohio State, what happened? Miami's going to the semifinal. Indiana 38, Alabama 30. Excuse me?
3.
Awesome. Oregon 23, Texas Tech 0, Ole Miss 39. Georgia 34. So if you're keeping track at home, that gives us 4 teams left in the college football playoff. And here they are. You're going to be shocked when you hear this, okay? You're going to be shocked if you only pay attention to sports by just listening to us. Get ready. Strap in. This is going to be shocking news, okay? The college football playoff semifinalists are Oregon, probably the least surprising out of all.
Yeah.
Indiana, okay. Mississippi, Ole Miss, whose coach left them several weeks ago, and Miami. And this is not 2001. We had the following teams lose in the college football playoff. Every SEC team except one. And it wasn't the one that everybody thought. Ohio State has lost.
Juggernaut.
Hilariously.
Defending champ.
Oklahoma has lost. All the Group of 5 teams have lost.
Of
Texas
course.
Texas A&M has lost. Alabama has been bludgeoned out of the college football playoff, deservingly so.
What are Nick Saban's golf buddies going to say now?
What the hell was that, by the way? What was that quote? He said, I called my golf buddies and what did they say?
They said, I believe his quote was something like, hey, people who watch the sport know that Indiana is a good football team, but my golf buddies who just kind of passively follow the sport because it's something to be seen at say well, we should kick the bleep out of Indiana. We're Alabama.
Wait, no, I thought it was the opposite. I thought his golf buddies warned him about Indiana.
Oh, no, I don't. No.
Okay.
Now
No.
you got me questioning.
Well, I don't know. I just saw the quote just barely going around. During Thursday's edition of College Game Day, Saban revealed that his golfing buddies in Alabama are feeling confident about the Rose Bowl. He says, I go play golfing with my buddies at Alabama. They're all at the first tee saying, well, we should kick the bleep out of Indiana. You were right, Josh. And I'm like, what are you guys talking about? These guys are a really good team. And they said, I can't get my head around that Indiana is good at football because I think of them as a basketball school. Okay, so you were right.
Okay. I like that they just let Nick Saban casually swear on College Game Day.
Nick Saban told a story about how he had to convince his golf buddies that Indiana was good.
No, they're good guys. They're good.
Trust me, they're good. I'm sure that they believed him in that situation.
Imagine having Nick Saban tell you something and you laugh it off as being not true.
About college football.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, man, it's your funeral. If you think they're just going to walk over him, I don't know. You haven't been watching. That is the best team in the country.
Definitively.
It's been the best team in the country for like the last 2 months.
They mercifully execute at every possible corner.
It's incredible to watch, isn't it? I, as a previous hater of Indiana, have so much appreciation for what they're doing because it takes so much. It takes so much focus. It takes, especially with especially in a situation like they're in right now, where, they beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game. They're on a different level. They get the bye. They're the number 1 overall seed. And all they have to hear for the past 4 weeks is about how good they are. They're playing Alabama, and I'm sure I saw Signetti got the one question about the Alabama mystique. And his reaction was perfect. It was, I don't know, what do you want me to say? We watched the tape and we understand what we're capable of and we know what they're capable of, and we're going to go out and we're going to do our thing. That's it. He's like, they just know what's on the tape. There's no mystique. And so the level of focus, I just keep coming back to that word. The level of focus that you have to have in order to not A, read your own press clippings, or B, start thinking about how good other teams are and just continue to do what you do in the Rose Bowl, in the college football playoff quarterfinal, where, there's still parts of the country who are still wondering if you are any good. And keep in mind, Alabama wasn't very good. Indiana just is.
But they have the mystique. They have the brand. They have the aura, right?
They looked exactly the same as they have in every other game this year.
Yeah.
Every other game. They have some weaknesses. They have some areas where they're not as good at some other things. They know how to cover them up. They know exactly what they are. It's amazing. It's incredible to watch. And so I think it's great what Indiana's doing right now. I hope they win the national championship. I really do.
Whoa.
Also, because Fernando Mendoza is the funniest person ever. Fernando Mendoza might be the funniest person alive. Fernando Mendoza literally has to be, he must be practicing his post-game interviews the day before.
You think so?
They're so funny. Have you seen them?
I did not see anything from him post-game yesterday.
They are hilarious. Well, it doesn't matter because they're the same every single time.
I did one of the game, must have been the Big Ten game where
his Heisman speech was the same.
I realized I had never heard him talk before, and I went, "Oh, that's not the voice I thought was going to come out of that body."
And one of the things that I really enjoy that has been a narrative that is emerged on Indiana now is, and we heard it even locally, Matt Rhule made reference to it a couple weeks ago. You know who doesn't hate Curt Signetti anymore? Me. AKA everyone. The American public.
Yes.
Right? He dropped the whole bit that he was trying to do it, the Coach Google Me thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know who hates Curt Signetti now? College football coaches. They hate this guy because he's so good. And he
So
made
good.
Indiana so good so fast.
He's bleeping up your timeline for
It's
your rebuild with
awesome.
your fan base.
It's awesome.
Every, big Cougar overreaction, big Wildcat overreaction, big Red overreaction. Why can't we do it as fast as Indiana did it?
And the answer is, it's not because of the things. I mean, it is. Of course, it's because of the things that Signetti is doing and the methods and the path that they're on and things like that. But the real reason that coaches don't want to talk about, they like saying, hey, look, it's going to take a while and not everybody can be like Indiana and blah, 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 and all this stuff. The reason that they can't do it as fast as Curt Signetti has, it's very simple. And it's something that it's hard to admit. They're just not as good as he is. He's just better. He's just a better coach. Why can't you get your culture instilled as fast as they did at Indiana? Why can't you translate to your players that the fundamental pieces of football, work just as well as they did at Indiana? They could, but they're just not as good as Curt Signetti at it. And that's what they won't say out loud. And then they'll continue to sit back and they'll say, well, this stuff, we're going to build it the right way. It just takes time. It just takes time. It just takes time. It just takes time. And they're right. Like, it does just take time. But this guy's done it overnight. He's just better. He's just better at it. It's not because he has a special method or anything like that. It's not because of the players that he gets. It's not because of the 15 dudes he brought from James Madison. It's not because they were at Indiana or whatever. And there was a blank slate. I don't know. I don't know what inherent advantages Indiana could have possibly had going into this situation. None at all. He's just really good at it. All right? Just admit it. This guy's the best coach in college football. That's why you can't do it. It's because he's better.
He's 25-2.
Curt Signetti, I saw this. I saw this note about his contract. Have you seen this? So
I have not.
Whatever
you're about to say.
He makes he's making over $13 million a year as the head coach of Indiana. He will get a $500. Well, he gets a $500,000 base salary plus almost almost 10 million from quote outside marketing and promotional income, and it increases $100,000 each year of the contract. He received a $250,000 bonus upon signing the extension, the 8-year, $93 million extension in October. On November 30th, he got a retention bonus, and that will happen each November 30th through 2028. Then that will increase to $1.25 million from 2029 to 2033. He has already earned 6 Big Ten win bonus at $125,000, a $1 million Big Ten championship game bonus, a $50,000 Big Ten Coach of the Year bonus, and then wherever he ends up, whether it is a semifinal appearance, he'll get $700,000, a national championship game appearance with a loss, $1 million, or a national championship game win, he gets $2 million. Those are all of the extra bonuses. And he could still get $100,000 for National Coach of the Year. This is Indiana, once again, paying him. But here's the funny part. The contract contains a clause called the Good Faith Market Review, stating that if Indiana appears in a college football playoff semifinal game, which they are, the university is required to discuss a renegotiated contract that escalates Signetti's annual compensation to no less than the third highest amongst active head coaches in college football.
Whoa.
Signetti is currently the 4th highest paid coach in college football.
Okay.
Kirby Smart, Lane Kiffin, and Ryan Day are the top 3 at this moment. It wouldn't go up that much for them. So to put it in more simple terms, the two sides have 120 days following the semifinal appearance to agree upon the salary adjustment or else all termination fees associated with the contract would be waived. If Indiana doesn't make Signetti a top 3 paid coach by April, he would be able to resign from the position at any point in time over the next 7 years without owing them a single dollar. So not only is this guy good, his agent is incredible.
I'm going to Google his agent.
Yeah, Google that guy's agent. That guy rocks. Funny for him too. Let's take a phone call from Doug on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Hi, Doug.
Hey guys, that's amazing, that contract you just described. I didn't know that. And I wish other schools like Nebraska had the balls to to put those types of incentives in place rather than a huge base. So kudos to Indiana for really putting it out there and like saying, if you prove it, we'll pay you, which is awesome. So good for him and his agent too. But hey, I had an argument with my spouse. Just a random question. So I apologize. Do you put glasses and cups in your cupboard up or down? Because I say they go up. So you can just grab it and fill it with water or whatever you're drinking. She wants to put them down so they don't collect dust. And I'm like, well, they're in the cupboard. Like, why would they collect dust? I don't know if you had a take on that or not. It was very interesting. And so then I'm like, well, if you put the glasses and cups upside down, why don't you put the bowls and the plates upside down for the same reason?
That's a great point. All right.
I don't know.
Hey, Doug,
okay.
Thank you so much for this question. This is exactly what we needed.
I put the cups in upside down so that they do not collect dust. But I do not do this for my bowls or my plates. So Doug's got me thinking about something here.
We don't have a hard and fast rule in my house.
You don't?
For some reason.
You don't have a system?
For some reason. Well, there is one cupboard, the most used cupboard, that is a complete disaster. Because it's got all the Tupperware and it's got all of like my kids' plates and just a whole bunch of junk is in there now, and we've kind of let it go because we're going to be moving in the foreseeable future. So it's just like, whatever. It's like, we're tossing it in there. But if my memory serves me correctly, the glasses, like the real glasses, which are never used, we don't use glasses and we hardly use cups.
That's right.
I just drink out of my water bottle all day long.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I want a good Diet Coke, I just drink a Diet Coke out of the whatever. So the glasses, the nice glasses are face down.
Okay. And
then the cups, like there's a bunch of stadium cups and like a couple plastic cups and stuff like that. Those are faced up, but not for any particular reason. I'm sorry. I am not opinionated on this.
Interesting.
But Doug brings up an interesting point about how people put they put the glasses down to avoid dust, which is true, by the way. There will be dust that grows in the cabinet. Just because they're in the cabinet doesn't preclude them from having dust on them. You put the cups in there upside down, but you still put the bowls and the plates right side up.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it.
I hadn't really thought about it that way.
All right. So poll question up at Happer Show. Do you place the drinking glasses in your cupboard right side up or upside down? Hot Danger on the YouTube chat. We don't have a system is the wildest answer to this, Connor. Either is fine. Nothing is chaos.
I'm going to go home and I'm going to take a picture of that cabinet that I was just discussing. You will be appalled. It makes no sense.
Our director of programming.
For the record, I don't want it that way. It's just we're at the end of the line. I'm like, I don't care what goes on in that cabinet anymore. Just put it away.
Director of programming, Alyssa. Why do you want the part of the glass that your mouth goes on to touch the cupboard?
Well, are the cupboards clean?
They have the liner.
Oh, you got the liners?
The liners.
Not everybody's got the liners, Josh.
Oh, my wife made sure we had the liners.
So you had to pull everything out to get the liners in.
Well, when we moved, there was nothing in there. Yeah.
But they were your liners?
Yeah.
Okay, good. You don't want other people's liners.
No, I would never.
That's for sure. Yeah, I'm sorry. Ray B says I lay them sideways.
Chaos.
I wish I had. I think I'll say this. I think upside down looks better. It's about presentation to a certain extent.
Now here's a scientific answer from Rudy on Twitter.
Hi, Rudy.
You put the cups upside down because the top is wider, so they are more stable when in storage.
That helps too. I mean, when you pull them, like if you ever have you ever received like a box of cups?
I have, yes. They're upside down.
Correct.
Yeah.
Indeed. Huh. Also, so stuff doesn't get in there.
Sure.
Also, stuff doesn't get in there. So yeah, I just think it looks better. Looks cleaner, takes up less space, looks a little bit more organized. Also you won't be, when you start putting things in there right side up, all of a sudden you're going to want to start, especially if they're those stadium cups, you're going to want to start stacking them.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want you have to stay away from the stacks as much as you possibly can. I know at a certain point, you just lose that ability because you run out of space. And
I'll
then
stack a stadium cup.
Yeah, of course. But you don't want to.
Right.
You want them to
I
be
want
all
to display them for the public.
You want them to be all visible.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Great question, though.
Would you like to see my Lorenzo Kane commemorative stadium cup?
I have many, many cups. So poll question up at Happer Show. Do you place the drinking glasses in your cupboard right side up or upside down? John tweets in. He says, need a both button.
We can't be doing both. Guys.
That's pretty crazy.
Ladies.
It's pretty crazy.
People.
All right, we'll get to some texts from you guys on the other side. And we have plenty more to come here on 1620 The Zone.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, a variety of different opinions about the cups. Ryan writes in, he says, as far as the cups in the cupboard go, the guy who said he did both must be a Rhule guy. You need an identity. If you don't have a set system as a family, what are you even doing? I don't know if this guy is the right person to lead his family going forward.
So many people have contacted us with explaining the alternating cups.
The alternating cups.
Yes.
Well, Pedro says you turn them upside down so the moisture runs out of the cup it doesn't sit inside of the cup.
Okay, that's a smart play.
It goes on to the liner.
The alternators do it as a space-saving move.
Okay.
You can get a couple more in there if you're alternating.
Pedro also says, hi, guys. Another reason to put your cup upside down in the desert, you won't get a scorpion or a giant tarantula in your cup.
Got to think about these things.
A great point. I used a cup to capture a lizard when I was in California.
Oh, okay.
A couple months ago.
A lizard?
Yeah, there was a lizard that I didn't tell you this. There was a lizard
Maybe
that was in my hotel room. And I spent a bunch of time trying to capture the lizard. I caught him, but I caught him with an upside down cup.
You were under strict orders to not hurt or kill the lizard, if I remember right.
Well, I don't think it mattered.
Okay.
I unfortunately did hurt the lizard, I believe.
Oh,
yeah. Brian writes in cups, right side up for sure. That way they are ready for use when you grab one and the taper is correct so it doesn't slip out of your hand. So people kept saying the ready for use thing. What do you mean ready for use?
How long is it taking you to turn the cup?
Upside down. Is an upside down cup not ready for use in your mind?
It's upside down.
Simply because it's upside down?
That's right.
Now I'm a pretty lazy guy. That is a level of laziness that I cannot comprehend. I don't think I could use this cup. It's upside down in my hand.
I was going to drink some water, but now I don't know what the hell to do.
Ready for use is the most amazing thing ever. Like you need a sticker on it if it's upside down and said, actually, this is ready. Well, no, it's not. It's not ready for use. It's not right side up.
Wow. I don't know. It's a real problem you got there.
Wild move. Elsewhere in college football.
Elsewhere.
Yeah, we had a great game last night with a great ending. Thank you, Jeff Servinski, the Big Ten officiating crew that did America's greatest sporting spectacle, the Sugar Bowl last night, for putting us through that horrific pain of ending an awesome football game on several excruciating reviews consistently back to back. Thank you to the refs.
Just very quickly.
Shout out to the Big Ten.
This is our job as talk radio people. Shout out Sean McDonough.
Sean McDonough rocks.
For feeling something during this game.
Yeah.
He didn't feel too much, and he didn't feel too little.
No, he did not give us any touchdown wows. But he got it going at the appropriate times. So we appreciate him. I did think every time Indiana scored a touchdown against Alabama, I did think about touchdown wows.
Touchdown wow. Alabama did not score a touchdown wow.
Touchdown wow is coming with us into 2026.
Hell
by
yeah.
the way. We are not leaving touchdown wow behind us. But what a great game. And as we saw yesterday in college football, and this is my big takeaway from the playoff, this is a tournament now, man. Okay? And what I mean by that is what I mean by it in the same way we talk about the basketball tournament. This is a tournament, and this is what the season comes down to now. No longer does being the best team in the first 12 games of the season mean everything. It means a lot, but it doesn't mean everything. It puts you in the best position, but it doesn't guarantee you anything. So it's the same thing as it is in college basketball. So this is as much as I dislike it, as much as I think we have now turned college football into college basketball in a variety of different ways. And I love college basketball, but I like the two are different. But much like in college basketball, you have to figure out now, if you're making the college football playoff, how to make it. All right? Just how to make it.
Got to get in.
How to make the dance. You don't have to be the best team. Just make the dance, right? And then how to win in it, which means winning games with repeatable efforts inside of small sample size events, right? Games, individual games. Don't turn the football over. Have a hell of a defense and have a quarterback that can friggin' make some plays for you. And man, did we see that on display last night with Chambliss and Stockton. Those guys are awesome. And of course, you have to get the right matchups. Matchups are important in March,
It's about
Josh.
matchup and guard play.
And guard, get good guard play.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, the guard from Indiana did win the MVP.
That's right.
So, which is great. Anyone can win. Which, by the way, to go back, makes it even more asinine for the idiots to be talking about who should have made it in the first place. But I digress. We're over that by now. If you don't have a playmaking quarterback, this is where we could put some Nebraska spin on it. If you don't have a playmaking quarterback in an evenly matched college football playoff game, you are putting yourself at a significant disadvantage. Look what those guys were able to do last night.
Trinidad was all over the yard, as he was all season.
But he, like, in those 3 plays in a row that he made where he scrambled back like 30 yards.
Yeah.
The one on the flip, like, and then the 2 balls that were a little bit further downfield. Those are individual plays.
Mm-hmm.
It does not matter what your team talent is in those moments because the team talent winners, Georgia, are chasing his ass around and they can't catch him. And it's like a 3, it's a 3-play thing. And those keep drives alive, those keep games alive, and they win you football games.
If we were in our cars, we'd catch you.
If you they'd be something else would happen too. You are putting yourself at a significant disadvantage if you don't have that in those situations. And there are all sorts of formulas to get into the dance, right? You can be all sorts of teams to get into it. Maybe you're the best team with the most talent all season long, but you still, or maybe you're a group of 5, or maybe you're like Ole Miss where you lose a couple games and you're just kind of in the mix from a talent perspective. They're like the equivalent of the Ken Palm team who's like a 6 seed, but they also have the top 25 offense and defense metrics going for them. They're like, ooh, that could be a sneaky Final Four team.
They're in the Venn diagram.
All the same things apply to the 1 seeds as they do to the 6 seeds, as they do to the 8 seeds, as they do to the 14 seeds. All the same things apply. You still have to be good in those certain areas in these small, tight windows, 1-game formulas. This is a tournament now.
Got to have a good quarterback. Got to be able to get a stop when it matters. Most everyone else had just a plain old good defense, except for Ole Miss.
The whole having the most talent thing. I mean, obviously, it didn't mean much in Ohio State versus Miami.
That's true. Now, Alabama and Georgia, you could say, were kind of flawed offenses or one-dimensional offenses that a team was able to.
Well, I would kind of take Georgia. I mean, Georgia played well enough to win.
Sure,
I just thought they kind of got outdueled at the quarterback position.
Ole Miss made one more play.
To be honest with you, Oregon's defense was completely suffocating against Texas Tech's offense, who looked horrific. But Texas Tech defense really hung in there.
The Oregon Duck was doing push-ups in the end zone with a tortilla blanket on.
Save that as a drop. Had to create some space. The Oregon Duck was doing push-ups in the end zone with a tortilla as a blanket. Need that one for sure. Let's take a quick phone call from the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Oh, look, it's more about cups. Hi, John. What's going on?
Yeah, I have a comment about the cups. I think the cups should be not face down, but face up. And here's the reason why.
Okay.
Kids aren't playing outside anymore. They're just inside. So used to be kids would be outside and play in dirt and eat dirt. And it was good for their immune system eventually. So I think they need to consume a little dust. So if the kids get some dust in the from the cup, it's healthy for them.
Thank you, John. I appreciate the call.
I like how much people are thinking about this.
I like how much people are calling the radio show today. This has been an enjoyable show. The reason why we should put the cups upwards is because kids don't play outside anymore. And I'm like, I can't wait to hear what the reasoning is.
There was nothing he could say after that opening sentence that
yeah, he could have gone anywhere.
Anywhere. And I would, yeah, sure.
I would have loved it.
What a great lead in.
Hot Danger says, can we get some old swing set rust in those cups too? He's right. The kids don't play outside anymore. You're damn right, John. We need to feed them dust artificially to make sure they could get what we got, which is when we were outside playing around as kids, Josh, what were we doing? Eating dirt. And dust.
Breathing in. I actually chip the lip of a couple of my cups.
Watch the lip.
Just so, you know.
Oh, you could like get some glass cuts on your lip?
Yeah. Just because kids aren't playing outside anymore and they need those.
They need to bleed?
They need to bleed. And then 5 seconds later go, why am I bleeding? What happened? Oh, well.
Other John says, I'm a busy guy. I don't have time to be turning cups right side up when I need a drink of water.
Apparently our audience feels that way.
What? Pedro sent us a graphic.
A graphic?
You come from dust and you will return to dust. Okay. That's why I don't dust. It could be someone I know. Pedro. Aaron writes in, is the new rub some dirt on it, now put some dust in the cup. You get some dust into those kids' lives.
You think that's what Siggs is saying to
help
the
their
kids
immune
in the
system.
locker room is you guys need some dust in the cup.
Andrew writes in on Twitter, I think we need a 1620 the zone, 1620 the cup that says ready/not ready, depending on which way it's put in the cabinet. It'd be a very, very inside baseball bit, but I would very much like it. Very specific. Because there was that 4 minutes on a January 2nd show where Connor and Josh talked about how they were confused why people didn't want cups right side up in their cabinet, and their reasoning was because they're ready to drink out of.
This is going to play great in 364 days or whenever we play it again on the best of.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It is amazing. Let's take a break. Josh's top 5 poll questions from December, which is a month that just ended.
People forget.
We've started a new year and a new month along with it. So we'll see how stupid we were in December after this on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, I know we haven't had much bowl game reaction outside of the hat fiasco.
The hat fiasco. This is a great hat. What are you talking about? Yacht Rock 1180.
Not this hat.
It's a good hat.
But have no
Matt
fear.
Rhule's hat.
Yeah, have no fear. Severe reaction is still happening this Sunday because it's Friday right now, Josh.
I got to keep saying that.
Sunday, 8 to 10 on 1620 The Zone with Michael, brought to you by Equitable Bank in Nebraska Medicine. And also, we still have tickets to give away to the Rascal Flatts concert Saturday, January 24th, and you can enter online at 1620thezone.com. Our top 5 poll questions from the month of December.
That's right, Connor.
I'd like to hear them.
First, you're going to have to hear the most lopsided poll question of the month.
Okay.
Came to us from December 4th. Did you have a Ben Wallace jersey? 96% of the audience said no, of course not.
That's up there.
Why would I ever?
I don't think that we've had a higher spread.
It beats the 7 to 10% troll
It does.
population that we normally have.
It does.
Most voted on poll question from the month of December, a pretty recent one, came to us the last time we did a show, December 23rd. Which would you rather do, a puzzle or a gingerbread house?
Oh, okay. How'd that turn out?
84% of the audience would rather do a puzzle.
Yeah, totally.
Makes a lot of sense.
I agree.
So that leads us to the top 5 proper poll questions from the month of December.
God, come on, take forever.
Number 5.
This one also came from the last time we did a show together, December 23rd. Did you know Kaylee Cuoco was a horse lady? A question that just makes me giggle.
Yeah. I didn't.
61% of the audience was with you, Connor. They said, no, I did not know Kaylee Cuoco was a horse lady.
61%. Yeah, and then all you had to do was mention a couple times Kaylee Cuoco, and then you all of a sudden start getting like correspondences from Kaylee Cuoco like bot accounts.
Yeah.
And that was not how I wanted to start my break, but it's okay.
Okay.
It's all right.
I didn't know that happened.
It happened.
Okay.
Number 4.
All the way back to December 2nd for this one.
Wow, 1 month ago today.
Is there a more Doritos state than Nebraska?
I don't think so.
50.8% of the audience said no. There is not a more Doritos state than Nebraska.
All right, so that's basically one vote.
I would think so. It would come to a single voter.
Well,
maybe
was there less than 100 voters on the poll question?
Yes.
Then there you go.
Okay. Wow. Your vote really does make a difference, people.
Mm-hmm.
You keep telling us it doesn't. But...
3. Combination of 3 and 5.
Number 3.
December 8th, we asked the hard-hitting question, would you like your Jimmy John's sandwich to be delivered via pneumatic bank tube?
God, yes. I forgot
your
about
ass
this.
I would.
I used a bank tube this morning and didn't think of this.
How great it would be if a sandwich was coming through there.
Yes.
83% of the audience with the very rational, normal opinion that, yes, they would like a sandwich to be delivered via pneumatic bank tube.
God, that'd be great.
It would.
Be awesome.
Dinner and a show.
Here comes 2.
Number 2.
I think it would taste better too. You know?
Something about traveling through the high-speed tube system.
Yeah, if it was all tubed up in there.
Yeah.
It also looks like the kind of thing that you would really be able to throw pretty well too. They tighten those up pretty good. The Jimmy John sandwiches.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, with the tape and like I feel like I could throw it, into section 116.
You could chuck them.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I always know what kind of night I'm going to have throwing T-shirts at the Creighton games because of how tightly the shirts are wrapped.
Oh, okay. That's the thing you wouldn't think of.
You know, you got to see it from my eyes.
Uh-huh.
I had an average night the other night. Whatever night that was. The Butler game. Jason Green. All right.
Took a sweet charge. December 2nd, we asked the question. I think this feels like a Matt McMaster question, if we're being honest. Do you go crazy for a girl in a beige hat?
No,
No,
not
no.
particularly.
70.
Now, what if you put Sydney Sweeney in a beige hat?
Now that would be different. Someone send us an AI photo of Sydney Sweeney in a beige hat.
And then we'll send it to Matt for you.
Yeah.
Just so he can enjoy it.
Too big. 70.5% of the audience said no. They do not go crazy for a girl in a beige hat.
He would say that.
He would.
All right. What else?
Number one, the best poll question as judged by me from the last month, a month that I missed a week of shows.
You did.
Make it so, number one.
Number one.
You had an influenza.
I had an influenza and a championship.
What
a week of up and downs.
Yeah. So you missed a week plus, didn't you?
Just a week.
It was just that full week?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. All right.
December 3rd, excuse me, we asked the question, did Twister make you want to stop dying in tornadoes? Only 55% of the audience said yes.
That movie really showed me, like, yeah, I'm done with this. I don't want to do that ever again.
What was the starting point on that question?
No earthly idea.
It was some movie somebody had watched that said,
my brain has been erased several times
Sure.
over since December 3rd.
I mean, it was something like, the Big Short made me really not want to buy a house or something like that.
Oh, maybe.
It was
yeah.
something like that. And then we got to, Twister made me want to stop dying in tornadoes.
Yeah, by the way, we haven't done our media critique. We always do our media critique whenever any of the local teams go to Vegas, just to see how cringy the tweets were.
Channel 7 sent everybody.
Everybody was there. Everybody was there.
Good for them.
I saw my only critique from this trip was I wish we could have got a little bit more creative with the Hangover references. I only saw the Doug on the Roof ones and is this Caesar's Palace?
Mm-hmm.
Like, can we get a Carlos, stop jacking your wiener? Can we get something going on that's not one of the two main quotable lines? Or from a different movie entirely. There's lots of Vegas movies.
Vegas Vacation.
If I would have saw a Vegas Vacation reference, I think the whole trip would have been worth.
Con Air.
God, if there was a black guy just sent us a picture of Sydney Sweeney in a beige hat.
Okay.
All right.
Wait for my internet to load.
Send that to.
She's in a beige hat. Look at that.
She makes it look good. Send that to Matt and see what happens.
Is she on a safari? What's happening here?
Those are your top 5 poll questions from the month of December. The 1:00 hour is coming up next. We have a big old Nebraska ball game to preview tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Finally.
We got to get to it, Josh.
Yeah. Got to get to that Caitlin Clark thing, too.
Also, we'll keep you updated on the latest comings and goings of the portal. Nebraska may or may not have their quarterback for 2026. Back after this on 1620 The Zone.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
Tonight in Lincoln, Pinnacle Bank Arena is sold out. You can't get in. They won't even let you if you don't have a ticket.
I think I could get in.
No, you couldn't, Josh. As a person who canceled Nebraska basketball long ago, they wouldn't let your ass in there.
Many would say I spurned them to a record.
I don't
streak.
think that anyone would view it that way.
Okay. That's fair.
It is number 13, Nebraska, and number 9, Michigan State at 8 o'clock tonight. And it's on the Peacock.
Of course.
So not only is it 8 o'clock, but it's also on the Peacock. And just to make it all better for Nebrasketball fans, Nick Baugh is on the call tonight.
Oh, no.
Jay's honk, Nick Baugh.
Famously.
No, he's pretty. He plays it pretty.
He keeps it neutral.
He really, really does.
Unless he's talking about his favorite football team, which is, of course, Indiana.
Indiana. That's also true. Nebraska is undefeated. And they are 17? They've won 17 games in a row, dating back to the college basketball crown.
Dating back to when we made a parody song deriding them for missing the Big Ten tournament.
Mm-hmm. Also, it was good for Nebrasketball fans to get introduced to Oogie. Did you watch Oogie's first game this week against New Hampshire?
My best friend David's grandmother.
I didn't know that you knew a guy named Oogie.
It was his my friend David. His grandma's name was Oogie.
All right, so I'm going to the pronunciation guide.
Okay.
And it says Oogness. There's an extra O in there. Oogness.
Oogie is short for Oogness.
Oogness.
Okay.
But the last name is actually the tricky one. Yaroshevicius.
Good thing you're not the PA for Nebraska men's basketball.
I would nail it.
You would?
I would nail it. I had a couple of them on the USC team that were a little tricky. They were a challenge, but we got there. I get excited when all these teams come in and they have crazy names. That way I could nail them.
You challenge yourself.
Yeah, I feel like that's an important it's like my time this show.
I believe we have audio of Pavelka seeing that name on the chart for the first time.
God!
I think that's right. What is Kent going to die tonight if they win? I hope Kent doesn't die.
I don't wish that on him.
No, but I'm worried.
Yeah. I want to know how high this thing can climb, but I'm also worried about Kent if it does,
Yeah, maybe it's best that they do lose just so we could keep
No.
it. We could keep Kent around.
No.
Poll question.
Okay.
What do you want to happen? Nebraska ball loses or Kent dies?
I don't like that.
I don't want to do that poll
for
question
us.
either, but it might be a reality that we have to face.
I am curious about how the results would come back to us.
Straw poll.
They might come to the station with torches and pitchforks.
So Nebraska has beaten Michigan State just once in the past. Oh, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 games. 1 out of 13 for Nebraska against Michigan State. Their last win, a 77-70 win in December of 2023. That was 2 basketball seasons ago at this point at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Then, of course, they won 3 in a row, most notably their big game to help kind of kick off their long run to go to the NCAA tournament, which, of course, culminated in No-Sit Sunday back in 2014. They surprisingly won at number 9 Michigan State in the Breslin Center 60-51 that day, then ripped off 2 more in a row in the series before then losing the next 11 before last year, and then losing at the beginning of last conference season as well. But this is a different Nebraska basketball team. Josh Oddson, this is different. On my podcast thing, I had the Michigan State guy reach out to me and he was like, let's talk about Nebrasketball. And I'm like, I'd be happy to. This is a great conversation right now. I'm so fascinated by them. And I can't wait to see where, like, when you look at the whole picture, where this lands for them this season, because I don't think they're going to be like a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament. I don't think they're going to be like a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament, but I can't tell you that for sure. Their resume is one of the best in the, even with their weaker non-conference slate, their resume is one of the best ones in the country right now, simply because, it doesn't have a loss. There will be games in which they lose this year. I'm sorry to break it to people. But it just felt like this has all come at a, like, you had the game in Sioux Falls against Oklahoma. It was like, all right, big test. Here we go. Passed it. You had the Kansas City thing where you got two kind of tougher, rough and tumble physical teams, New Mexico and K-State, passed both those tests, won them. You had the week where you played Creighton, Wisconsin and Illinois, bashed Creighton in Wisconsin, won on the buzzer beater at Illinois. Then, so you passed all those tests with flying colors. Then you came back and you had to play these 2 games over break and they were kind of sleepy and you got a little number by your side and everybody's talking about you and you pass those tests with flying colors. And now you're still undefeated and it's the new year and you get the blue blood perennial title contender, one of the best coaches of all time, that whole thing coming into your house. I think early in the season, which is probably a good thing for Nebraska against Michigan State. I just like the thing that I would be it just feels like the right time for this test. But the thing that I would be concerned about with Nebraska basketball, just in the long run, if there's anything, is their ability to sort of get it going consistently against these teams that are going to be superior in the athletic category against them, which there will be many in Big Ten play. That does not preclude you from winning, clearly. So don't let anybody tell you that it does.
A lot of different ways to win a basketball
game. It just makes life tougher, right? And it makes that margin for error smaller. So Nebraska's going to go up against a team that's more athletic than them tonight, and it's probably going to have more success in the one-on-one stuff. Like, I think Nebraska will have to probably throw some kind of not gimmicky stuff, but some wrinkles at them defensively, right? Like traps and various different things to throw them off their game a little bit, which clearly Nebraska is I think prepared for, in the sense that they understand their roles so well. But at the same time, you're going to need pretty good individual play to beat a team like this, the way they defend, their length and their physicality and all that stuff. And it's obviously a really good rebounding team. So I can't wait to see how it stacks up against a team specifically like this one. Like, Michigan is probably a little bit of a similar story. Purdue's probably not, as one of the top couple teams of the Big Ten. Purdue is not a super, they don't win games with their pure athleticism, right? They win games because they really, really know what they're doing in a basketball sense from a skill standpoint.
Do they have a 9-foot tall guy down low this year?
Not quite that tall,
Okay.
but still a tall man.
Okay.
Down there. And so that one, I think Nebraska probably matches up at least a little bit better against those type of teams, but I can't wait to see where it ends up. And, they're favorites. They're going to have the home crowd on their side. It is almost assuredly the biggest game in college basketball. I haven't checked my KenPom.
Yeah, what's the KenPom thing you say about the game tonight and the thrill score?
I haven't checked my KenPom thingy for the game and the thrill score and all those things tonight, but it is indeed the number one game in college basketball, and it is a very high thrill score, almost 82.
Hello.
Which is 20 points higher than the next most important game in college basketball tonight, which would be Notre Dame and Cal, an ACC battle in Berkeley.
Ooh. Boy.
So how'd this game end up on Peacock? I guess just the Friday night of it all.
Great question.
USC goes to Michigan tonight, also on Peacock. The great thing about Peacock, Josh, is it doesn't matter what time it is. You can just put 3 games on at once, and everybody can still watch whatever they want to watch, which makes it even more confusing as to why this game is at 8.
And again, I'm going to champion YouTube TV for giving me that NBC Sports Network channel.
I do appreciate that.
So I can watch this game on my YouTube TV app.
I do very much appreciate them for that. Sith Destroyer says the Big Ten hates us. That's why it's on the Peacock.
Well, then they would hate everybody because there's 3 Big Ten games on Peacock tonight, right? Oregon, Maryland, USC, Michigan, Nebraska.
Ohio State Rutgers is also on Peacock.
That's
tonight.
4.
There's 4 Big Ten games, 8 Big Ten teams on Peacock tonight. So the Big Ten has some enemies, and it's everyone, apparently.
Huh. Okay. Well, there's bowl games on ESPN tonight. That's what's on ESPN.
What about like the BTN?
Now that's a great question. What's on the BTN tonight? Is it wrestling?
I'm not sure.
I wouldn't be opposed to that. I'm just spitballing ideas here.
Interesting. Matthew says, got to be careful listening to the show at work when that Kent soundbite comes on. Coworkers thinking you're watching a not safe for work video. HR will want to see your web history. Show it to them.
Let them know.
Let them know.
God!
At 6, 7, 9, and 10 o'clock, there are big football in 60. Texas Tech versus Oregon, followed by the Rose Bowl,
So
Indiana versus Alabama.
They must have a deal with Peacock to just say, you take your Friday nights.
Take these games. We don't want them.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's a big game tonight, Pinnacle Bank Arena. Are you gonna go, Josh?
Am I gonna go?
Yeah. Considering you're not allowed.
You've told me I couldn't get in.
You couldn't. I don't think you'd be able to.
I'll take in the atmosphere from my home in Omaha.
Me too. On Peacock.
Yeah.
Let's see. Headley writes in, also Connor, Nebraska could go 31-0. You don't actually know they won't.
That's right.
Do you think this is an appropriate time for me to issue some sort of a challenge? Like, hey, Nebraska, like you won't go 31-0. And win the national championship.
Could we whip up a parody
or
song?
how
real
about
quick?
like a guarantee? Like, I guarantee Nebraska won't go undefeated and win the national championship this year.
Put it on the board?
Yes.
Wow.
The first list entry for 2026. Nebraska will not go undefeated and win the national. They might win the national championship.
They might
win the national championship, but they will not go undefeated and win the national championship.
Okay.
So if they just win the national championship with losing like 2 games or something like that, sorry, my guarantee is still correct.
Let me give you a what if before you put it on the board officially.
Okay.
The team comes out tonight. The lights are strobing. The flames are shooting everywhere. Fred Hoiberg comes out in a backwards hat. What do you do, Connor?
I'm going to Google Fred Hoiberg in a hat because I'm not sure I've ever seen that before.
It would be quite the statement.
Have you ever seen Fred in a hat?
No.
I don't think I have. And I've seen him in like some non-professional, non-public facing settings. I don't think I've ever seen that man wear a hat. Why would he? He's got good hair.
Yeah.
I'm Googling Fred Hoiberg hat, and it is not returning any results.
It is not.
There was that one time he wore a headband.
Ooh.
For that funny video he did at when he was at Iowa State.
Hilarious.
If anybody could find me, track down a video where he's wearing a hat, then that would be great. What would I do if tonight was both the first time he wore a hat ever and it was backwards?
Yeah.
I'd have to come on the show and roast him tomorrow. I would say the direction of your hat is the direction of your life, Fred.
Well, something to look forward to on Monday.
You're going backwards. I'm excited. Do you think they're going to win? Do you think Nebraska's going to win?
What the hell, sure.
Will Nebrasketball fans be like, how much will they throw a fit if they lose? Like, I'm worried about that. I'm worried about people not handling it well when they lose.
What if they just lose by like 6?
Yeah. What if it's just like a totally normal
Yeah.
game? Like there's no like super horrible officiating. They just lost.
Yeah.
How would you take it? Because I'm a little worried. Because it's been a long time since people have experienced that. We're really riding high. You
Wouldn't you just clap your hands and go, hell of a run, boys? Let's get the next one.
I hope so.
Ooh, Jordan with an interesting
And you would come
question.
up and you would look at the metrics, you would look at the bracketologies and everything the next day, and it would say the same thing. Nobody would think any worse of you if you lost by 6 tonight. What's Jordan saying?
Will they storm the court if they win? Don't think you can do that at this point.
Ugh.
I don't know. I feel like that's a big pelt on your wall, though.
The environment, though. See, I think it's less about the opponent. It's more about the environment.
Okay.
It's just going to be unhinged, right? So I think you got to kind of do it, and I think you got to allow it too. I would support it.
I'm always in favor of storm that court, baby.
Yeah, you would say storm that puppy.
Yeah.
So then, when the rankings come out on Monday, Nebraska plays at Ohio State on Monday. It's gonna say that Nebraska is like the number 7 team in the country.
Whoa.
Or something crazy like that. Yeah, storm it. Absolutely. 100%. Now, unfortunately, the next time they play at home isn't until the next set of rankings come out, but who knows? I mean, they could win at Ohio State and Indiana, and all of a sudden they come back and play Oregon on Tuesday, January 13th, and they're a top 5 team in the country. Who knows? I want to see how long this thing goes.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Black Cat has found multiple pictures of Fred Hoiberg wearing a hat.
Oh, good. Does he just have like
I don't know how he does this.
Like wiki hat?
But he did find one of
that
them
doesn't look right.
cutting down the nets at the Big 12 championship, at the Big 12 tournament. And look who's in it. It's Matt Abdelmassi who's in one of these pictures. An old friend. And then that very boxy and square hat that they gave him after winning the 2014 Big 12 tournament in Kansas City. I forgot they used to win that a lot.
People forget.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah, no. Neither of those are a good look.
No need to wear the hat. Text from the 402.
Hi, 402.
I'm a season ticket holder. Do I get to storm the court at age 47? I would say once the students are out there and everybody's already out on the floor, I think, if you could find your way. Now, they're pretty stingy on who gets onto the floor level these days out at Pinnacle Bank Arena. But if you could make your way out there, if they're letting people out from the regular stands, then by all means, bump into Kent and say, because, if they storm the court or whatever, he'll be talking to people.
Yeah.
Just like he was at any other time they've stormed the court over the last several years.
He's gotten some live reactions from some people.
Text from the 202. Are the students on break? Having them there always helps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so, but I don't think it
right?
matters. I don't think it matters. I mean, most of Nebraska's student body is from here, so they're going.
And I mean,
they're going to have a full student section. Don't worry about that.
I don't think they come back to school till like the 20th.
Yeah, it's fine. They'll have students there.
Okay,
don't worry about it.
Good.
All right. I think Nebraska might win tonight too. Or you know what? I'll just say it. I think Nebraska will win tonight against Michigan State in basketball to improve their record to 14-0 and win their 18th consecutive game.
Crazy times we live in.
That's right. Back after this on 1620 The Zone.
All right, happy portal day, everybody. Not a whole lot going on here on the Nebraska front. But here is who is in the portal, officially entered. Okay. So Caden Vermas, Dylan Raiola, Malcolm Hartzog, Preston Okafor, Maverick Noonan, Marcos Davila, Tristan Alvano, Roger Gradney, Jason Machechak, Jalen George. Those guys are all officially in the transfer portal. Jamarian Parker was a name that it was reported that he was going to enter the transfer portal when it opened. That has not happened as of yet. The portal has been open for 11 and a half hours.
Obligatory. You can always come out of the portal or
you can,
whatever you want to hear.
You can go back. Yep. You can go back to the place where you came from. Although I found it was interesting that Nebraska is going to have some guys that entered the transfer portal that were playing in the game for them on Wednesday. And, you know, I don't know what the conversation is regarding Dylan Raiola at this point in time. All I know is it got a little off the rails over the last couple of weeks where people are asking for various thank you posts and
say goodbye to me
and things like that, which is very odd to me.
You ungrateful twerp.
There's
say goodbye to me.
Reference. There's no reference to Dylan Raiola. The wire has been cut from Dylan Raiola to the Nebraska football program. There will be no conversation about Dylan Raiola ever again. I think this is like the cleanest break you could possibly get. I don't think they're going to talk. They're just going to they might Scott Frost. They might Scott Frost it and refer to Dylan Raiola as the last quarterback.
The last quarterback.
Remember when Frost, he keeps talking about Nebraska and he keeps saying the last program I was at. Geez, man. Nebraska might actually do that with Dylan Raiola.
The last 5-star quarterback we had.
The last 5-star quarterback we had. The new quarterback comes in. He's like, yeah, the guy who I took over for. It's like the team up north. There will be no conversation about Dylan Raiola going forward. So there is 11 guys, 10 if you don't count Parker, who's not in officially yet. 11 assumed guys into the transfer portal for Nebraska's rosters. Some bigger losses than others, but really only a couple guys on there with starting experience or impact playing ability. And I guess ability is a strong word, but Malcolm Hartzog and Dylan Raiola are really the only two with any sort of bona fides next to their name as far as what they did while they were at Nebraska. And then on the incoming front, as of this morning, it was widely reported that Notre Dame transfer quarterback Kenny Minchey is in the portal with a do not contact tag, and that Nebraska is the direction that he is likely headed. So I think we could probably put two and two together there and say that Kenny Minchey is going to be one of Nebraska's quarterbacks. So this is where I open it up to you all. Is that a situation that you could go for? Let's say, we could take it from all sides and we'll certainly have a clearer picture of what it's going to look like, say, on Monday here. But you have Minchey, you still have TJ Lateef. You're probably going to go out and get another quarterback to compete in that space. Or, of course, I guess you have the other option of going out and finding a quarterback who is a definitive bona fide starter that you could bring in and play over both of those guys. I'm not sure if former highly recruited Elite 11 guy Kenny Minchey sits on the bench for 3 years at Notre Dame and then transfer to Nebraska to continue to not play.
I just want to compete,
right?
Coach.
I feel like he's the starter, and I feel like that will continue. I don't have a problem. It's obviously preferred that the person that you're bringing in has experience. I will say this. I think we came to this conclusion before we went on break, Josh. I like the fact that he has 2 years of eligibility. I like the fact that Nebraska, if they have him be their starting quarterback, he is going to be their quarterback for 2 years. and then you could grow into that position with a roster that continues to sort of grow around you a little bit. I like that picture. I think it's good. I don't think it guarantees you have any success or anything like that, but I would prefer it to go that way, because I do think they're starting from not necessarily square one, but they're starting from an earlier phase than I think we anticipated for. Like Nebraska's, I don't think in the position right now where they feel like they're a quarterback away. So you take that quarterback and you let them grow into the position, and then all of a sudden by next year you're in a real spot where you can flourish after that. So I like that piece of it. And then we don't know much about his game because there hasn't been much game for him to have played so far. He's basically had as much experience. I mean, he's got less experience than Latif at this point. So, and they're both relatively highly recruited players.
But he was almost the starter.
He was almost the starter. People forget that. So that's your portal update so far. Here is a phone call on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Here's James. Hi, James. What's up?
Hey, Happy New Year to you, fellas.
Happy New Year to you.
Hey, I think as we look at this, I think, and I kind of agree with your points there, but I think we've got to have a seasoned quarterback come in here. I don't think we need another project. I don't think we need somebody that's not proven, that just has eligibility. I mean, we need somebody that can come in here and get this thing going right off the bat. And, how the other quarterbacks lined up, they need to line up, is we need probably 3 quarterbacks. But I just believe we need somebody seasoned in here. And I think the other part of this is if we don't have many Huskers going to the transfer portal, I guess that does say something for the program and for Matt Rhule. But I think a couple of things that I'd love to see them change in 2026. One would be, do not give anybody any single-digit numbers. Let these guys earn it throughout the year, because some of the ones got the single-digit numbers did not pan out. I would scratch that. But to me, that makes no sense. Unless you identify 2 or 3 bona fide captains that have sweat their butt off here in this program. We've seen great growth by them. And on the defensive side, you really can't say much about that part of it. So, and then the last thing would be, scratch that dorm crap that Matt does by having them go in this solid dorm or the small dorms, the build bonding. That's been going on now for 2-3 years. It hasn't worked, that part of it. Do something different. I mean, we need a different turn of the page here. You're going to have the whole defense is going to be different. Some of your offense is going to be different now that we're going after athletic quarterback. There's a lot changing, so change it for the better. But we need veteran people to come in here. I don't want to see some of these guys from the MAC come in here that that were linebacker and have 120 tackles, kind of like that Trent guy did at linebacker. I don't want to see that. I want to see some seasoned people from the Big Ten, SEC. Some of those players come in here. They may have to pay some money, but I think the time is urgent. This is not a time to wonder 2-3 years from now. I think the fans are at an urgent state of seriously seeing progress and not getting blown out in the last 3 games. In the first 3 games of the year, that's not going to matter much for us, I think. It's going to come down to what's the 4th, 5th, and 6th game when we get into Big Ten. But I want to hear you guys' thoughts. You guys always have a great show, I think. Thank you for letting me on. And we just believe 2026 is going to be a better year for the Huskers, but I think there needs to be some serious structural changes to this program. Okay.
Thanks, James. Appreciate it. Happy New Year. Thanks for calling. Yeah, I think you make some good points about the whole single-digit numbers thing, to be honest with you. I mean, you heard my semi-rant earlier about the gimmicks and it's kind of a gimmick, right?
Oh, definitely.
And I think he makes a really good point about, although I disagree, I think he presents a good case to say you have to go now. People are kind of at their wits' end. They need to win. But ultimately it's about is he going to get fired if they just show progress next year? I'm not trying to set the bar that low, but you know what I mean? I don't think Nebraska's in the position right now where they need to be skipping ahead to all right, let's go. Let's put all of our money that we have available and more so it's like, and it's like a Major League Baseball team, right? If you are on the verge of the World Series the year before, you're in the ALCS, or you're in the DS, or you won 100 games last year, and you just need that one or two more guys to get you over the top. You are going to go above and beyond as far as putting the money forth to be able to create a team that has the ability to win a championship.
Blue Jays.
If you go 81 and 82, or if you go 81 and 81 from a year ago, you're like, and I think that's where Nebraska's at right now. It's basically a 500 team. You still have some building to do. You still have some internal building to do before you have to say, all right, let's add championship piece A, B, and C to this team. That's where I'm at. I still feel like it needs built from a internal standpoint before you go out and say, let's get this piece and this piece and this piece, because they're the pieces that we need to win a championship. Does that make sense? I want it to make it sound like I don't want them to win championships right now, because like I do, but I just feel like they're not quite there yet as far as like the infrastructural, whether it be the identity, the culture, like whatever it is. I don't feel like they're 1, 2, 3 guys away, because I don't know where they're going.
Yeah,
still.
I
I don't know what they're trying to be.
There's another level or two before they're like, okay, we're one elite player away from breaking this thing.
And I don't think they're that.
Yeah.
I don't think they're that.
It's not like, oh, let's just go get Brendan Sorsby or whatever quarterback you think is the best.
And that's why I'm super cool with bringing in a guy who yes, he hasn't played yet as your quarterback, but he's going to be here for 2 years, and he's got to, he's talented. I like that idea. That's what Joe Burrow was, for the record.
Did you know he could have came to Nebraska?
I did, but then he went to LSU and he played really well for 1 year, and then played incredibly well for his second year and won the Heisman and had the best college football season that any of us have ever seen. So I don't know. Maybe that's Kenny Minchie.
Maybe that is.
Maybe that's Kenny Minchie. One more call here on the show today. Here is another James. Hello, other James.
What's up, other James? I was confused. I was talking to myself. For like 5
Yeah,
minutes.
sorry. When I said hello, James, you probably started talking. Yeah.
No, all good. So yeah, I was going to pose a question, and then I just kind of, I guess, want to feed into that last guy's take a little bit if I could.
Sure.
So I guess my question to you guys would be, and I mean, I have my opinion. I think you do too, but more so proving a point. Do you take a bona fide starter quarterback, a Dylan Rhule market share type quarterback, pay him $3 to $5 million, of Brand Sorsby, because we have to get the best quarterback there is? Or do you take Minchie and have enough money to get 2 stud linemen and a above average running back for the same price? I think that you got to build it around, otherwise it's not going to matter who you have back there. And I think we saw that with Rhule. He had other issues, sure, but like it just feels like, as a Husker fan for 10 years, we've got some good players, but we're missing too many pieces. And it's like, what is Tom Brady behind a shitty offensive line get you?
Oh,
It gets you nothing.
Stop him. He was making great points.
He
But
was.
I'm sorry, James. We just can't say bad words. But you kind of didn't see that coming out of nowhere.
No,
You got to be paying attention. You got to be on your toes, baby.
Normally there's like a
He got
David
his point.
Wells run up to the swear word.
Yeah, he got his point across.
Yeah.
I was almost going to cut him out anyway. There you go. But I don't know ultimately where James 2 lands in that situation, but it seemed like he agrees with me. Like, hey, let's build it around first, and then, in theory, by starting quarterback's second year, starting quarterback's third year, they're really ready to go. And then you could say, we'll go get you the pieces that we need in order to take this thing to the next level. But they got to establish themselves first. They're not established. And yes, it is most certainly a bad look that they haven't established much, and they don't have much to show for in 3 full years. That's tough. That's a tough hang.
It is. You'd like them to be a
But
little
I'm
further along.
I'm not
but
firing people. I'm not firing
No,
people.
not yet. Not yet. We're not there yet.
Back after this with the polls, we'll tell you what to watch on 1620 The Zone.
He gives you the latest sports news, analysis, and commentary in a clean, concise, and disease-free way.
See there?
What a relief.
Thank God. Wonderful.
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Welcome back. More of the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. We got a good lively chat today. May have set a record for callers too.
Whoa.
People were calling today. I mean, we had like 4 to 5 in that first segment.
Just wanted to talk to us.
I love the radio callers because you guys get to take it in whichever direction that you'd like to, and that's great.
And only really like 2 of them off the top of my head were like quote unquote regular callers.
Yeah, no, we didn't hear from most of those guys.
It was a lot of new friends.
All right, to the polls at Happer Show on the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed here on this Friday. Yes, it is Friday. Will Matt Rhule's next bit be to cut off one sleeve and tape it to his face?
Boy, it'd be a bold move. It'd get him noticed, but I don't know how good of a move it
We
would
at
be.
least have to put it on the wheel. 57% say yes.
Oh, wow.
That will be his next one.
Okay.
Interesting. And finally, the conversation that stirred the show up today. Do you place the drinking glasses in your cupboard right side up or upside down?
I'm an upside down man.
I think upside down. I'm not super, I don't have much conviction behind it, but I think it's upside down. 78% say upside down.
Wow.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
That's right. We're
as
doing
that
that
guy
again.
would say. Oh, it's a whole 38 seconds into this clip, so I can't play the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
But we can still do this. All right, those are the polls. Josh, what are we watching tonight?
We're watching bowl games. We got a lot of them today, 4 of them to be exact. The Armed Forces Bowl going on right now, Texas State and Rice. It's like 10-0, or Rice was about to score, so maybe they did punch it in before halftime. But they're at halftime there at the Armed Forces Bowl. The Liberty Bowl follows that on ESPN. Navy and Cincinnati at 3:30. The Holiday Bowl with Gus Johnson, for some reason, Arizona and SMU, 7 o'clock tonight on Big Fox. And the Duke's Mayo Bowl. We get one of those fun.
I love college football and their Pop-Tarts.
Yeah.
And they're dumping stuff all over coaches.
7 o'clock tonight on ESPN. It's Wake Forest and Mississippi State. A lot of NFL this weekend. Doubleheader Saturday. You can hear it here on 1620 The Zone if you prefer to watch your football. It is on ABC at 3:30. Panthers, Buccaneers winner wins the NFC South, I'm pretty sure.
That's right, Josh.
Thank you. And then Seahawks, 49ers out west with a lot on the line there as well. 2 doubleheaders Sunday. CBS is, let's see, Colts, Texans at noon, followed by Chiefs, Raiders at 3. Fox has Cowboys, Giants, followed by Lions and Bears. And then game 272, Sunday Night Football on NBC. Ravens at the Steelers. The winner is in the playoffs. The loser is out. And their coach is probably fired as well.
Indeed.
So a lot to look forward to there for football. Basketball, 6 o'clock tonight on Peacock. Number 24, USC at number 2, Michigan. At 8 o'clock, number 9, Michigan State. At number 13, Nebrasketball, who hasn't lost a game all season.
People forget that.
That's right.
Peacock.
Kentucky at Alabama. That's right, on Peacock. Kentucky at number 14, Alabama, 11 a.m. tomorrow on ESPN. Number 19, Tennessee at number 18, Arkansas, 2 o'clock tomorrow on ESPN2. And 11 a.m. Sunday, Creighton at Seton Hall on Peacock. Our coverage begins right after Severe Reaction.
Oh, my God.
At 10 o'clock.
Look at that.
On Sunday morning.
Shout out to the Big East.
Yeah, John Bishop takes you inside the arena at 10:30 for the 11 o'clock tip. The women are playing basketball as well this weekend. Number 17, USC at number 4, UCLA. 7 o'clock tomorrow night on Peacock, because that's just where Big Ten basketball is played now.
Guess so.
Or it's on Big Ten Plus, where number 20, Nebraska hosts Purdue at 2 o'clock on Sunday.
They do.
That's right.
I'll be there.
NBA basketball on Prime tonight. Nuggets, Cavs at 6:30, followed by Thunder, Warriors. And the NHL tonight from Lone Depot Park in Miami.
That's right.
Rangers, Panthers at 7 o'clock on TNT, the Winter Classic.
Awesome. By the way, it's not a straight winner gets the NFC South.
The Falcons have something to do with this,
Yes.
but can't win the division.
It's kind of that.
Yeah.
You're gonna want to win it.
Yes.
Also, by the way, Chris in Montana says Matt Rhule's next bit, instead of cutting off his sleeve and taping it to his face, is wearing 4 headsets around his neck.
I see these players wearing mouth guards all the time, so I decided I'd take that and do it with headsets.
It just shows that I really like communicating. I just really wanted to over communicate with my guys. So I wore 4 headsets. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That is it for us today, and that is the week. Great job, everyone.
Good week, everyone.
What a week. We're back on Monday. The crossover is coming up next.